I know I've only just met you. Maybe I should know better. The artist is Tina Turner. Welcome to episode 5 of Album Armageddon!
And we're back again. Welcome to episode 5 of Album Armageddon. I'm your host, Cy Stevens, and joining me as always are my amazing co-hosts. He got blinded by the blackness of my long silk stockings. It's Rob Macaulay.
It's true, hello.
She acts like a spy, always looking for clues. It's Cath Macaulay.
Well, hello there.
And in his eyes, you get lost. You get washed away. It's Stu Whitehouse.
Watcher.
How are we all
So
doing?
seductive.
How are we all doing?
Yeah, good.
Yes.
All right.
This is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But is it going to be simply the best?
So,
I wonder who we could be talking about.
I have no idea. I'm sure it'll come clear in about 35 seconds. So what is Album Armageddon? Well, if you don't know us yet, you clearly are not a member of any of our social medias, so why not go over to Facebook and X and search for Album Armageddon. As always, we will wait for you to get back. Now that you've done that, you know that put simply, Album Armageddon is where we take 2 albums from a single band or artist, pair the tracks up, and discuss and decide on a winner for each track. You'll also know that we have some rules, but in case you were in a rush to get back here, Rule 1 is obviously albums must have the same number of tracks in order for them to be matched up, so on occasion, there may be some creative licensing for this to happen. Rule 2, no live arena stadium tracks. These are normally found elsewhere on the album in question or on a previous album. Also, no interludes or skits. Rule 3, in the event of a voting tie, the host who chose the artist will have the overriding decision. Rule 4, an album can only arrive in Armageddon once. The same goes for artists, unless a strong and genuine reason can be given for them to feature a second time. Rule 5, the host who chose the artist can use the Napalm Death card, which allows them to declare a track the winner regardless of the voting result. However, this can only be done once per show and during the discussion of a track. At the end of the show, we will create a super album on Spotify featuring the winning tracks. This is more passion than critique, so we don't have any long boring chats about the key of the song and such like, just our thoughts, feelings and occasionally stories around the songs. As such, we do get passionate and drop the occasional swear word. So now, with all that out the way, as our intro said, this month is Tina Turner, and the albums are Foreign Affair versus Private Dancer, which was Cath's choice. So Cath, why Tina Turner and why these albums?
Well, that blows one of the intros that I was going to do, which is mostly pun-based. Guess who we're going to be talking about? So I'll do intro B. It's about Tina Turner, and she was a true icon. She was a pioneer for black women in rock music, and she paved the way for future generations of female artists. She was also a survivor of abuse, and her story is an inspiration to many. Turner will be remembered for her powerful voice, electrifying stage presence, unwavering resilience, and her famous legs. She starred in several films, including Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome and What's Love Got to Do with It? She was not only the first black artist, but also the first woman to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. But sadly, she died in her home in Switzerland in May of this year at the fine old age of 83. So this is a tribute to Tina.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about the albums Private Dancer and Foreign Affair. So Private Dancer was released in 1984, and it was Tina's comeback album after a decade-long hiatus from her music career. The album was a critical and commercial success, spawning 4 hit singles, including What's Love Got to Do with It?, Private Dancer, Let's Stay Together, and Better Be Good to Me. Foreign Affair was released in 1989, and it was Tina's follow-up to Private Dancer. The album was another commercial success, for spawning 2 hit singles, including The Best and Steamy Windows.
Yes.
So, we are going to begin by comparing Steamy Windows with I Might Have Been Queen. I will give my opinions, my deciding vote at the end of your guys' opinions. So I'm going to start this round with Stu. Over to you, Stu.
Okay. I'm glad that you haven't had the normal bit where we have to talk about, like, what's your experience with the Tina?
Feckle,
Very
for most of
little.
us.
So, no, actually, that is my experience. I don't really know. I know the typical songs, you know, that what she's famous for and that. So this has been a bit of an adventure for me. Out the bag, I wouldn't say it was a very positive adventure, but I think only because of the albums which have been chosen. I think, and this is a general statement I'm making now, not just about Tina, but about all artists, when they were fantastic in the 60s, okay in the 70s, but then something happened in the 80s. I don't know what it was, but they just all
I'll tell you what happened. The 80s happened.
Yeah, the 80s happened, yeah. So, and they all have got the same drum machine and keyboard and everything's all generically sounding and nothing very progressive. No, but at the time though, I bet it felt really progressive. But as in old years or time goes on, it just doesn't. So
it was just so modern.
I have to say, these two albums were a little bit of a challenge for me, I've got to say. But I have found some positives and I have some negatives in that. So,
okay.
But I'll start off with Steamy Windows. Obviously, it's a song about having sex in the car. It cannot be any other way. But the way the song ends is a little bit creepy, I thought. It was just a bit, oh, no, okay. It's a like up-tempo, rock, pop-infused track, which is quite cool, I suppose. I have made a note here, so I really don't like this lyric. You can wine and dine me, a man all right, all good intent, but there's something about the confrontation on the back road breaks down the defence. That's just fucked. I'm sorry. It's just whoever wrote that is just like no. And then it was I might have been a queen.
No, not a queen. Queen.
Being queen. Being queen. Being queen. Before the chorus, the music is it's very technical and there is a lot of going on. There's like a nice little slap bass going on and things like that. But I got vibes of Mark Knopfler for some reason. Dire Straits Mark Knopfler.
Yeah.
But it had a really bad 80s keyboard. It was awfully sounding keyboard. However, out the two, I might have been Queen just because I don't know, maybe I've heard Steamy Windows far too much because that is a staple. That is just a Tina. You think of Tina Turner, you think of that and Thunderdome and a couple of others, but I think I quite liked this one just because it was slightly different. So therefore, it's getting my vote on that one.
Right.
Now, not very deep, I'm afraid, but that's it. So yes, I'm done.
Fine. Okay, over to you, Rob.
Oh, hi. So Tina Turner. So. Really interesting because we scheduled to talk about Tina before her sad passing, and I think at the time I did sort of go back and have a look at some of her videos and look into some of her career, and it just she was never I was never a massive fan of hers, but I so appreciate what she did. She was so iconic. I think her career spanned sort of 5 decades. I think she sort of hung up her microphone about 2009 and she'd been going since the 60s. So it was really interesting listening back to some of these songs, many of which I had never heard. Some of them I was like, oh God, yeah, it was overplayed then and I'm going to have to listen to it again now. And some of them which sort of had a little sort of hook into my brain. Have I heard that before? But what was also really interesting with doing these was looking into the tracks. So just a couple of facts. So Private Dancer, the album was selected by the Library of Congress for preservation in the National Recording Registry for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant in 2020. So that was pretty interesting. And Foreign Affair was not a major hit in America. But it was a real international hit, especially over in Europe. And also a track or a credit list of 35 musicians involved in that album. So they really pulled out the plug. So, but to the tracks. And we're going to come back to Dire Straits, because of course there is more than one link here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So to these two tracks, so I Might Have Been Queen off Private Dancer. So yeah, proper 80s, man. The synthy drums come in and it's just like, oh no, here we go. But quite funky. I wasn't expecting the funky bass lines that come in left, right, and centre, which was nice. And yeah, vocal delivery. I mean, what can you say? I know we've done Amy Winehouse, and I know we've got other artists coming, but in terms of being a female voice, I don't think she can be beaten. She's just got the whole range of, the raspy, aggressive, the soft and sultry. Yeah, it's brilliant. I like the nods to the 60s girl groups in this one. Got the backing vocalists going on still, so that's pretty cool. But as an album opener, I wasn't so convinced. It was a little bit middle of the road. So popping over to Steamy Windows, which is the joy of all jokes. It's just, again, unmistakable voice, very 80s sounding. But we're getting towards the tail end of the 80s here. And in this one, the drums do seem at least a little more live than pre-programmed, so that was good. I thought if it weren't for the keyboards in Steamy Windows, it could have sort of ages it with the keyboards. If you took the keyboards out, it would be a bit more timeless. So nice bass line again, even a bit of harmonica in there, very nice. And I wrote, I would absolutely dance to this, even in jest. So there we go. Just overall, listening back to it, obviously it was a massive hit at the time. It's just a bit middle of the road for me. And I would love to have heard it as a proper rock song, which, interestingly, and we'll come to live versions later by comparison. The truth of good rock artists is their live performance, and I think some of the tracks, although they've aged here, they still sounded fantastic live over the years when she was doing them. So Steamy Windows is the winner for me on this one. Let's go over to Sai.
Yeah, okay, so I'm pretty much like you guys for Tina Turner. I mean, to say I don't know Tina Turner would be a huge untruth, but it's more I couldn't name us or sing or hum many of her tracks, but listening to the albums, I did have a few type moments, and then it got to the point of it's like, do I remember this as Tina Turner, or do I remember this as someone sampled it, or is it something else that she's been influenced by? So yeah, there's some interesting times ahead of us. Haven't really followed her career, never really searched out her songs or albums. That's pretty much my backstory. Wow. So, Steamy Windows. Well, that's a nice, funky little Tennessee-style guitar riff as the intro. Mm-hmm. And throughout that, for that matter, as well. And I think Tina's blues vocals complement it greatly. To cut a long story short, it's a sultry little ditty about dogging. I Might Have Been Queen. That's some 80s dated intros, isn't it? I mean, oh hell. I thought I had accidentally started some 80s cop show and we were investigating some drug cartel that owned a nightclub.
Nice.
But we didn't get into the chorus and we're straight into what I thought we would get with the Tina episode. And it's her vocals that really power through. But then we're right back to that cop show. The lyrics almost sound autobiographical. Awful. To start, but then she starts singing about being on the river. So I thought, what exactly is this song about? And discovered that it is entirely autobiographical. That word I can't say. Someone fill it in for me. As they discuss her interest in Egypt and her belief that in a previous life she was Hatshepsut, a pharaoh who took the throne from her brother. And there was me thinking it was going to have to wait to the Katy Perry episode for the fucking Looney Tunes to start.
Isn't it great just being filthy rich? You can just be on any planet you want to be on.
So, for me... Oh, go on, Rob.
No, I was just going to say, one of the things, talking about being filthy rich, she never came across to me as a diva.
Nah.
She always seemed to be really down to earth.
Yeah.
And that just made my sort of how I regarded her esteem is just so much higher. She was never one for scandal, really. She just carried herself very well. Sorry, I interjected.
And approachable, I think, as well. As you, if you watch her in interviews, it's like anyone could go up and talk to her and ask a question and sort of thing. And she didn't
super
have
cool.
any. Yeah. She had that air of being better than a lot of people because she was vocally, but there was no airs and graces in attitude.
I mean, if you think of the title "I Might Have Been Queen," that would just sound arrogant from anyone else, but it's almost like a little tongue in cheek from her. You know, I sort of recognise my status, and I'm going to play on it a little bit.
Yeah, and also maybe that she was a bit Looney Tuning at the time as well.
Yeah,
well, with genius always comes a bit of madness.
Yeah, this is it. It's a fine line. For me, the backseat hijinks anthem gets it, as I can't look past those funky guitar riffs and the bluesy vocals. So Steamy window.
Right, cool. So, Si, you completely stole my joke. Again, you're ruining it for me.
Sorry.
So I was going to introduce this as it's everybody's favourite song about dogging. Steamy Windows is about a couple getting intimate in the backseat of a car on a lonely stretch of road. It was released in 1989 from an affair. It became a top 10 hit single in several countries and remains one of her most popular songs. The song has been praised for its raw sexuality and Tina Turner's powerful vocals. So I very much enjoyed the wobbly note at the beginning of the song, and I like to imagine that it's reflective of Tina's sexy time partner's happy parts rising to the occasion.
Wow, that's a sentence that's not been uttered before.
I like the keyboards in the chorus. And it made me laugh that lyrically, Tina seems to prefer a bit of sexy time action in her car instead of a nice meal in a restaurant. And it made me wonder how controversial this song must have been when it was released. Because I can't think of many other rock and roll grandmas out there singing so openly about how and where they like to get it on.
Yeah, but it's one of those songs where I think a lot of people don't even know what the words are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those very well-known tunes. People know it and they go, oh, Steamy Windows, and they don't really know what it's about, and it's just got a nice feel to it, and I think that's probably why it got through.
I think you're right, because I was at a gig last night, and it sort of occurred to me that there are certain bands who've got certain songs for which people only really want to the band, you know, the crowd are there to hear certain artists, certain songs. They don't care about the other stuff, but then even within that, they only want to hear the chorus. Don't forget the verse. Just get to the chorus so we can sing along. I think that's right. Steamy Windows is so memorable. The rest of it's like, whatever. We're just building up to that.
I don't know why the title's gone Dutch.
Yeah, sure.
Schmuck on a pancake.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, so I watched a video as well. And I must say, the dress that she wears in the video leaves very little to the imagination.
Yes.
Right, so then we have I Might Be Queen. I might have been queen. Maybe I was queen. I'm not sure. I may have been. Who knows? So some people believe that the song is a reference to Tina's own life experiences. She overcame an abusive relationship with her husband, Ike Turner, and went on to become one of the most successful female rock stars of all time. So the song could be seen as a celebration of her resilience and triumph over adversity. Overall, the song is about self-discovery, self-acceptance and empowerment. It's also a reminder that we are all capable of great things and we should never give up on our dreams.
Yeah, with less sarcasm there, Cath. I mean, delivery, it's all about delivery.
So this song is quite clearly less iconic as Steamy Windows. I mean, I might as well go Dutch as well. It's not quite as distinctive, not quite as sexy, but it still has all the trappings of the 1980s and is classic Tina. The double keyboard instrumental to the wobbly notes were very enjoyable. And I thought the lyrics of the song were well worth reading because they really highlight what an amazingly confident woman Tina was. Good on you, Tina, for moving onwards and upwards.
What role model?
Yeah, it's amazing. But my vote is going to go with Steamy Windows because it is just a classic. So there you go.
Nice.
3-1. Right, so next up, we've got The Best versus What's Love Got to Do With It? So this is a clash of the titans, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
This is a hard
So
one.
The Best, the song is often interpreted as a love song and a celebration of self-worth and confidence. Tina is not afraid to assert herself and claim her own power. She is proud of who she is and what she's accomplished, and she's not going to let anyone tell her otherwise. And the anthem of What's Love Got to Do With It is about female empowerment and sexual liberation. Tina declares that she's not interested in love, but rather physical pleasure and sexual gratification. She's also asserting her independence and her right to choose her own sexual partners and experiences. Well, good for you, Tina, because I think that didn't happen so much in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with you, Si.
Yeah, okay. What a battle. 2 matchups in.
Yeah.
I mean,
Early doors.
Yeah, I mean, the best. Not simply the best, the best. Absolutely iconic. I would say it would be the song that people would say if they were asked to name a Tina song. When she passed, I think every news station had this as their quote, as the best, or used the song. I mean, it's got a Dr. Zeus style chorus that allows for easy sing along.
Yeah.
A legendary saxophone solo by Edgar Winter.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely iconic, which means, yeah, it's unreal how good it is. Not bad for a cover version. And proof that not all cover versions are awful. Because
explain, I did not know this was a cover version.
No.
I've just blown Stu's brain.
So I haven't done enough research. I'm sorry, guys.
Bonnie Tyler recorded it and released it the year prior to
No
Tina.
way.
And I think it's an example that if you do something unique with a cover version, you can make that song your own. Because who knows Bonnie Tyler's version of The Best?
Nope.
No idea.
I didn't even know there was one.
I mean, she's probably rolling in the money in her swimming pool, thanks to Tina. But What's Love Got to Do With It? Again, absolutely iconic. Easily, again, in the top 3 of Name a Tina song.
Mm-hmm.
This should be a board game, Name a Tina song. Tina's biggest selling single, and standby fact fans. Absolutely amazing that this is Tina's only #1 single in America.
Oh.
That blew my mind.
Wow.
Even more amazing is that Tina almost never got the song.
Oh, that's my bit.
just stealing everything.
I'm just
from
stealing
everybody.
everybody's. It's like, do you want me to save it for you then, Rob?
Go on, Si, you go for it.
Right, so it was first written and then offered to Mr. Christmas, 1982 to 1999, Mr. Sir Cliff Richard, who turned it down. It was then offered to Phyllis Hyman, who was blocked from recording it by her record label. Bucks Fizz, the Great British Eurovision icons, were then offered it, recorded it, and shelved it as Tina had got her version released first. Until Bucks Fizz re-released one of their albums in 2000, they put it on that album. And that Bucks Fizz version is a special kind of auditory adventure. As it uses the exact same sample of Forget-Me-Nots that Will Smith used in Men in Black.
Wow.
So it's like, it's a complete headfuck. Anyway, I digress.
I found a gap in your fact, if I may fill it.
Yes, go fill my fact.
There was another artist it was offered to who also turned it down, and that was Donna Summer.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I did actually write that down. I just completely skipped that one.
There you go. Just
She sat on it. She
Yeah.
sat on it for a couple of years, but never
Squashed
actually
it.
recorded it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Squashed it flat.
Completely. I bet she's gutted, isn't she? The production on What's Love Got to Do With It is amazing. There is so many little elements that the synthesized harmonica just works so well and just says 80s. There's a little wind effect in the background that complements all the other instruments as well. But it's so hard to pick a winner on this one. Or you know what? I married into a Glasgow Rangers supporting family, and that is the Glasgow Rangers icon.
They're the best.
the best. Yeah,
Right.
that's their club.
It'd be a bit weird if it was what's love got to do with it. If it was...
Yeah, this is true.
That's a bit odd.
But I think that's given me a bit of burnout.
Oh.
So I think I'm going to go with What's Love Got to Do with It, because
Right.
it doesn't have that burnout. And secondly, it's technically an original song, which, although iconically is Tina's, the best isn't.
Okay. Stu, what do you reckon?
What do I reckon? Right. The best. It is a signature Tina song. Right, so everybody said, think of a Tina song, that's probably going to be the first one you're going to pick out there. But it's a classic wedding song as well. How many family parties you've been to, or weddings and things like that? And then it has to come on, them. And every weekend. Is that what you just said?
No, I avoid them.
Oh, he said every weekend.
Yeah, the opposite of that, Stu.
yeah, like that, but different.
But this is the only song I can actually say there's a chug-a-chug rating. There's a chug-a-chug rating of 3, because there's actually in there's a lead guitar and it's going off on one as well.
Yeah.
I bet it hasn't got a galloping bass though.
No, it doesn't have a galloping bass, but this is why it says chug-a-chug rating of 3. I've not gone crazy with the chuggers.
Yeah.
However, and you are going to hear me say this so many times, and it's not a slight on Tina because her voice is top.
She's fucking crap.
I fucking hate saxophones.
Wow.
I am sorry for everybody out there who's a saxophone player or saxophone lover or saxophone aficionado, but fuck me, it's a horrible sound. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. And the problem is, though, these 2 albums are just fucking littered with it. All over the place. And it's just like, it's basically saying Oasis to me. It's like, no, I don't like the song now. It's got it in there.
She doesn't deserve that.
Wow.
That's a bit harsh.
Wow.
Yes.
But don't let that put me off the really horrible saxophone kind of solo. Luckily, the solos don't go on that long. They're literally about, I don't know, a couple of bars, and then then the rest of the song carries on. So it's a very uplifting song, and it is tons of fun. You know how, like Robbie, you said you'd dance to this, and even in jest. Well,
Yeah.
This one I would dance to, not in jest, in serious dancing or in jest dancing. But did anybody get the Gordon's Alive bit? In the when it breaks down, it's just
No, I don't think so.
douche, and I just went, "Oh, Gordon's alive." It made me chuckle anyway. Right, what's love got to do with it? What a weird start, like a panpipe.
Yeah.
And then the snare drum, and I'm sorry, that snare drum was shit sound.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was like, well, actually, it just sounded like they took off the choke on the snare drum, and it was just like a tom.
Is it a live snare though? Or is it a?
No, it's not really. No.
Sounds like hitting a load of wet phone books.
Yeah.
But the bass in that song is awesome. It's really good in the mix. It's really nice and low. And I did listen to both these albums on headphones as well, so I got quite an intense going. But the keyboard solo, it was a horrible sound. Have you noticed though? I've not actually said anything about Tina's voice here, because Tina's voice is good.
Are we going to get round to that?
Well, it does exactly what it does. To be fair, I don't really need to say anything because it's fine. It's all right. The song is okay. Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's all right.
What more do you want from me, Cath?
Tina fucking Turner.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
It's a swear.
That's how she should have marketed
Tina
herself.
fucking Tina. It's a good tune, but it's a bad sound. It really is. And I'm sorry, it's the best. It's got to be the best. It has to be the best. It's too. I didn't know it was a cover though. To be fair, to my defence, or my ignorance, which one you want to play it, I don't know. But that is quite enlightening now that it was a cover. But no, it is the better song. And if anything, she's the one who made that song. Then what it is, nobody else has made that song. That so yeah, for me, it's the best.
Yep.
Okay.
Right, Rob, what do you think? What is your reckoning?
What is my reckoning? Well, I've got I've highlighted some similar things to Stu, but with quite the opposite opinion.
Oh,
so
you love
I'll
the
start
sax.
with. I know. Funny enough, I used to be in a band which had a saxophone player. And it literally was a case of where are we going to force the saxophone bit in so that, okay, do another solo. Yeah, we'll just wander off for a bit. Anyway, so what's love got to do with it? God, the drum sound, yeah,
It's
not a good
awful,
start.
isn't it?
I didn't like the bass line.
Oh, okay.
I thought it just sounded a bit flat and lifeless. But I did kind of like some of the synth sounds, which is the polar opposite of you picking it out. Overall, as a song, the individual components just didn't do much for me. But as an overall package, it's more than the sum of the parts because of her voice on it. If you put any other vocalist on that, it would just be run of the mill, But she hits, all the notes. She does the subtle bits, the sort of roaring rock queen. It's just it's her all over basically. Coming back to the bit what was stolen from me about the
Sorry.
So a lot of these songs she didn't actually write. As we're going to see later, there were other musicians involved that did things. She basically, a lot of the time with these albums, certainly not with the earlier albums where she wrote a lot of her own stuff, she was given some stuff, said, Tina Turner this up, bang. She just turns the sort of average into something really amazing. And it's all her basically just doing that. So yeah, what's love got to do with it? Let's think. Yeah, I mean, it is iconic, but yeah, it's the musicianship that detracts it from me. And the best, again, I thought the funk was up there again. The funky bass lines. The bass was easy but slappy, and I almost got to the point of, right, I'll learn this bass line, but then I couldn't be bothered because it would have taken literally a minute.
I would love for you to learn a Tina Turner bass line.
Hey, well, they do. Some things do pop up, and you go, "Oh, I haven't heard that before." Absolutely massive hit for her, the best. But while I appreciate the singing and the songwriting talent, the team behind it, I don't actually like this song.
Okay.
It's just a bit too cheese, really.
Fair enough.
But if you were a person that liked 80s music, I can absolutely see this being a staple.
If you went to more weddings, you'd probably really like this song.
You're probably right, yeah. I need to get invited to more weddings.
Just turn up.
True. Yeah. Oh, yeah, John invited me. Yeah, it's fine. But with the best, if it weren't for her voice, that song would just be consigned to oblivion.
Definitely.
And I'm really interested to hear the Bonnie Tyler version now to see if that is the case. The sax solo, yes, that grates. But I do appreciate the fact at this stage in the album, I hasten to add that there's a lot of different instrumentation being brought in. Later that becomes a bit of an issue, but we'll get to that. I did like the big crowd clap along bit in the middle, followed by a big crescendo, and I could just imagine it in my brain. It's a show closer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, the confetti coming down, balloons popping around, and
there goes the bouquet. Woo!
Yeah, there goes the bouquet. So yeah, difficult because I think also impacted, or sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, slanted by the size of the songs that we're talking about. But for me, I think what's love got to do with it? I think I just prefer it as a song. It's simple as that.
Yeah. Right, great. Okay.
Yeah. Also, because of the two, I think this one is better for the final album as well, the final mix album. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what's love got to do with it? Which, another slow tempo song. And whilst the melody isn't quite as saucy as the previous songs we've heard, make no mistake, the lyrics make it very clear what's on Tina's mind. The lyrics include lines as, "It's the thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. What's love got to do with it?" Indeed, Tina. I can't quite figure out what instrument was being played during the solo, but I presume it was the electric kazoo. And I thought this song was it was basically 80s without mercy.
Yeah. Relentless.
So the best, I thought it was called Simply the Best, but no, I think everyone thinks it's called Simply the Best, but it's not. So yeah, there you go. That's my first fact. I thought it was an absolute classic. So it's slow, smouldering tempo, opens with a bouncy bass, notes from keyboard, and very simple beat. The song features a saxophone solo, which has been sneered upon, but I thought it was quite interesting because I think it's the first one that we've heard yet. But it does get a bit tired later on, I suppose. And I just thought they just don't write love songs like this anymore. She seems to have calmed down a little bit from her wild days of shagging in the back of cars and has fallen head over heels in love with someone. So I am going to go with the best because I just think it's a stronger one out of the two of them. It's just such a classic song that I think someone's already said if you were asked to pick a Tina Turner song, it's almost definitely going to be that one. So that one gets my vote.
But who do you want
therefore
to
it
win?
wins because it's two
Yes.
but
Okay, fair enough.
I pick that.
You're not going to be like Si then and pick the one he wants and then picks the other one.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't me.
No, you did on Green Day.
No, that
Yeah.
was that was more tactical.
Right, so our next two songs, the first one is You Know Who is Doing You Know What. No prizes for guessing what this song's about. The singer is suspicious that her partner is cheating on her, but she doesn't have any concrete proof. She's torn between wanting to confront him and wanting to ignore the situation and just hope for the best. And it's up against something called Show Some Respect. And it's a powerful anthem about self-worth and respect. The singer demands to be treated with respect, both in her personal and professional relationships. She is no longer willing to be taken for granted or mistreated. Rob, would you like to start?
Sure, I'll go first. So let's start with You Know Who is Doing You Know What. which for some reason, when I read that title, I thought about a bunch of bakers. And you had to know who was doing what. So anyway, so You Know Who is Doing You Know What. Funky bass, jangly guitar, a delightful hand clap in the chorus, I might say, to enjoy and clap along with you kids at home. I like the backing vocalists actually singing the chorus line. That was pretty cool. Musically, just too middle of the road for me, though. But that's the 80s. And this one was never performed live on stage either. So there you go.
There you go.
Fact. There you go. Show Some Respect. More bass lines. I don't know whether I like to think of Tina going, no, come on, we need a funkier bass line for that line. Yeah, I like to think of her doing that. Yeah, so again, not actually written by her, this song, but you put her voice and delivery on it and it just turns into something excellent, basically. I loved the vocal delivery on this one. It just, raw, aggressive delivery, tons of different bits of vocal delivery as well, and just a fun, upbeat song, I thought. So I'm going to call it short. Show Some Respect for me. That was the winner. Let's go over to Stuart.
Right. You Know Who? I'm sorry, the start of that is just a keyboard demo from the 80s. You go to Argos, you bought your £10 or your £50 Yamaha
Wholesale.
PSR, and then, what does it? Oh, it does that. The Bontempi. Nice. It's terrible. Or a MIDI files from the 90s, like on the same car. Oh, awful. Really bad start, I thought. But then it starts to get going. I got to admit, I don't like the way she sings the "You Know Who's Doing You Know What" part. It just goes on and on and on and on. But however, I really do like the middle eight, and it goes back to. But when it goes back to the "You Know Who's Doing You Know What," it goes a bit. It does though get creepy near the end with the whispers. Did you notice?
Yeah.
I know. Probably if you wear headphones, it's even more creepy. It's like
Right.
That's the second time you've said that Tina's a bit creepy.
Well, I mean, she didn't write them. But I don't know. Her voice seems a bit stronger in this one. I did find the "You Know Who's Doing You Know What" just too repetitive. It just didn't need to happen that many times. But I suppose they had to fill the song up with something. Show Some Respect. My first thing on the notes is, what the fuck is this? Question mark. And then I wrote 80s fitness video. You can imagine there we had little wristbands and they're doing that. But Tina's voice is really good, but it's really gravelly, I found as well. But the the lyrics seem to be more. The one, right, the whole thing I've found with Tina so far, or listening to these two albums, it's all very love-based, or very boy meets girl, apart from obviously the few highlights we put on there. But this one doesn't seem to be that. This one seems to be slightly different, more about, obviously the respect. So, and I thought, okay, well, that one seems like a bit more different in that way. But I am going to go for You Know Who. Just because I love the Bon Tempi keyboard start. It's awesome.
So, in as you said about the keyboards, late 80s, early 90s, there was a scrabble of basically buying the newest keyboard and hammering out the single as quick as you could. So I think Enya was a perfect example of that, where the intro to whatever her big hit was, that is straight off Yamaha keyboard, and it just so happened they got it released first, so no one else could use it after that. So yeah.
God, the facts just keep pouring in, don't they?
Yeah.
I think there's an even bigger, more recent example of that is Damon Albarn with Gorillaz. One of the Gorillaz tracks, I think, is it Clint Eastwood, is literally wholesale. It's the demo from a Casio keyboard.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's an interview, we'll probably link it in the show notes or release it and find the video and put it into the group chat. But yeah, it's amazing. It's literally just he pushes a button and it's like, fuck me, how did he get away with that?
Yeah, my vote was You Know Who, Cath.
Yes. Okay. So that's 2 for You Know Who and 1 for Show Some Respect.
Ooh.
What am I going to go with?
Oh, I haven't voted yet.
Yeah.
I thought you did.
No.
I thought you picked Show Some Respect.
No,
that was me.
Well, then I've got 3 votes for you.
Someone's counted. Perhaps you counted your own at the start. Anyway, Si, what did you think about this?
We're a professional outfit. Listen to us.
Well, I'm going to make it short and sweet anyway. It's just going to read my notes here. You know who? He's doing you know what? Is yes, funky guitar jangles. No, back to the second investigation of that 80s drug lords nightclub. And that melody in the chorus is just fucking annoying. It's like one of those lady, but it's a Janet and John book. John, you know who's doing you know what? What are they doing, Jane? They're doing what? Respect starts off with a Nutbush City Limits style guitar with a really weird fucking effect on it, or maybe it's just a synthesizer. Who knows? It's the 80s.
Probably a saxophone.
Probably. But it's pretty much what I expect from 80s US pop rock, like Stu was saying, with like their fucking leg warmers and spandex and
just jumping on
doing their exercises. And, the winner, I don't particularly care for either track. Respect I can listen to, whereas I tend to wish You Know Who would be over once the guitar funk is over. So Cath was right. She foresaw the future. It is going to be Show Some Respect.
Oh, I'm really on the losing end this tonight.
Right, so You Know Who is doing you know what? Starts with an unusual jangly guitar before diving right back into those familiar 80s vibes. I thought Tina must be absolutely gutted after having declared in the previous song on Foreign Affair that her fella is simply the best. Turns out she suspects him of being a bit of a love rat. I thought the vocal style of the chorus was clearly very different from the previous songs, as it's delivered in a much less powerful way, but I thought very effective for the words that are being sung. You know who is doing you know what? So that's my thoughts on that song. Not many. Show Some Respect. So it's another song which begins with a boingy guitar riff and drum beat. Musically, it reminds me of the DuckTales theme song, although with a bit of a slower tempo.
Wow.
Tina is really enjoying this song to the extent that she lets loose a little ow in the middle of the song. Followed by a full-on scream and then a whoop towards the end.
You sure there wasn't just an accident in the studio? She stubbed her toe, then stood on a nail.
So I think I enjoyed Show Some Respect more than the other song. So that's going to be the winner.
Yay! All right. What's next?
Right, so next, he's losing my voice already. It's because of do my Tina impression. I just can't do it. Other Undercover Agent for the Blues versus I Can't Stand the Rain. So Undercover Agent for the Blues is a song about a seductive woman who takes the singer on a wild ride, which is very hard to imagine since we're talking about Tina. Tina is initially drawn to the woman's physical beauty, but then soon realises that she's more than just a pretty face. She's also a skilled manipulator who knows to get exactly what she wants. Whereas I Can't Stand the Rain, so this is a cover version, and Tina's rendition of it emphasises the raw and emotional aspects of the heartbreak, with her powerful vocals conveying the struggle to cope with the lingering feelings associated with a past relationship. The rain serves as a symbolic backdrop for this internal emotional turmoil.
Cath, who was the original version by?
Someone called Anne Peebles.
When was it released?
The number escapes me.
Oh, I think it was around 1973,
was it?
but I wouldn't like to hedge my bets too much.
Right. Well, Si, care to tell us more about it?
Okay, Undercover Agent for the Blues. 80s blues club vibes again. Tina's sultry vocals complementing another blues guitar, but there's another sax there. It's got a great example of Tina's vocal chops as well on that third verse. And we talked about passion in the last episode and the lack of it when a song screamed out for it with Green Day. I think here is a great example of how much a bit of passion adds to a song.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge amount of difference, and you can feel it. I Can't Stand the Rain? Where do I begin on this one? Tina can't stand the rain. I can't stand that fucking ridiculous fake raindrop effect. After the effect goes away, we have some pretty typical 80s pop, soft rock fare again. Nothing bad, but there's nothing special there. And then we move on to some corkers of fucking lyrics. Hey, window pane, tell me, do you remember? Probably not, Tina. It's a sheet of fucking glass. It's an inanimate object. Let's take the loony juice away from her now, yeah? I can't listen to Rain without actually laughing, and it's probably not a good thing for a song that's not a comedy or a parody record, so I'm going with Undercover Agent for the Blues.
Wow.
Right, excellent. Over to you, Stuart.
Wow. Sorry. I quite like it. I Can't Stand the Rain. And I don't know what weird rain effect he's talking about. Is it the... Okay, it's not rain, though, is it, at all? You don't think of rain when you hear that. Unless you have weird rain where you live, I don't know. But, you know.
Musical rain.
Yes, so it is a cover. I did actually research this one, so yes, I agree, it's a cover.
Yeah.
Is it the future sound of Tina, though? She does go off into a bit of a... This is the 80s, and I'm going to play with a new
Do you think it's a bit creepy?
I'm not, but somebody is. Say again.
Bit creepy.
Let me check my notes. Not this one, no. But I'll get back to you on the creepy. I wanted to do a little creepy chart between 1 to 5 creepiness. Do you think she was trying to get into the clubs with this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a kind of a early 80s club vibe, but like not high energy, sort of, you know, bringing it, you know, when bringing the end of the night kind of thing. I do think this song is good, but I do think the lyrics are bloody awful. They're just, I don't know, and I suppose if you're appealing to a club, then you don't really need
Doesn't
lyrics.
matter.
What you need is your voice to do something, and your voice is that. So, Undercover Agent of Blues. It's like a dirt. It begins like quite a dirty track, and it's got quite nice pads at the start. I'm sure there must have been the default keyboard pads at the time as well. I don't know. I
thought you said quite a nice pair of pants at the start.
No, pads.
Pads, sorry.
She sings it in a really odd way. I find it a bit unnerving. I didn't quite.
Unnerving or creepy?
I'm not going to say creepy because, you know, I'm going to overuse that word.
I mean, you've
and
said it twice already, so why not just carry on?
But you know, there's plenty of songs to go yet.
Yeah.
It had got some nice finger picking guitar in the break and stuff, but my just because I think she was trying to experiment and getting into clubs and things like that, I'm going to say I Can't Stand the Rain. Yeah,
Right.
so that's my voice.
All right.
Even though
Okay.
it's an odd song.
Right, Rob. Your
Right.
reckoning,
Well,
please?
yeah. Yes, my offerings. So I can't. So two totally different types of track here. We've definitely got "I Can't Stand the Rain," big hit in Europe, especially Germany, apparently, which makes sense with its sort of electronic leanings. I thought this was a really tough one because the styles are so different, and both are quite strong songs in their own right. The line "I Can't Stand the Rain," I'm sure I looked it up. It had been sampled by Missy Elliott, but I'm sure it's been sampled on loads of 90s techno tracks. I just couldn't find the one because, yeah, when I heard that line, I was like, yeah, I've heard this 100 times in other places. But I think "I Can't Stand the Rain" relies on two things: the actual line "I can't stand the rain." The rest of it is just neither here nor there. And the "bottle clangs" melody line, which I thought was nice.
Yes.
Now, I do regard this as a sort of semi-legendary track from the electronic side of things because I'm sure it's been sampled so much. "Undercover Agent for the Blues" was not a single, which already tended to suggest it had a bit more substance. It's not trying to sell units; it was more going on to it. And I just got that. I got a bit of a sense that I got with Amy Winehouse about walking into a sort of smoke-filled bar, getting my cocktail and sitting down, shimmying to my table,
As you usually do.
as I usually do. That's just the way I
But
roll.
not at weddings, no.
Not at weddings. And quite honestly, this one for me was primo vocal delivery, and that growl that she starts putting in towards the end of the song. I actually like the little brass bursts as opposed to big solos and things. And quite frankly, I'd never heard that song before, and so far of all the songs, that was my favourite one.
Wow.
So much
So
as
I can't stand the rain then.
So much as I respect "I Can't Stand the Rain," I'm going to go for "Undercover Agent for the Blues."
Right, cool.
Yeah.
Right, so "I Can't Stand the Rain." I thought, the bottle top percussion was
Bottle clang melody
whatever,
line.
like the way that you described it was really memorable.
Yeah.
But also really similar to the original version. So she's not really doing anything new there. But her version is 100% more 80s. I thought the sudden brass instruments blasting in at the 1 minute mark made me jump, was quite unexpected, quite loud. But I thought it's a really nice track, but just not different enough from the original by Ann Peebles. And having listened to the original, I actually think I prefer it a bit more because it just sounds a little less produced, a bit more sort of raw and better, in my opinion.
More better.
Whereas "Undercover Agent for the Blues," so the description of the song and actually what the song was about really reminded me of Amy Winehouse's song "Fuck Me Pumps."
Oh, I was thinking about that this afternoon.
Fuck me pumps.
Fuck me pumps.
I thought the song had a brilliantly bluesy intro that then just sort of turns into a really weird amalgamation of 80s Tina and blues. But I felt that we were very much back in familiar.
That's a new word coined tonight, folks.
Familiar, sexy territory with this song, as Tina tells us her undercover, wink wink, lover knows all the moves and has her romping. And she really gets into it at the halfway point and turns up the power of her vocals, belting out the lyrics and making them really soulful. And there are some whoops as well. So I think a song that's got whoops in it definitely gets my vote. So I'm all about "Undercover Agent for the Blues."
Yes, the right choice.
Familiar Tory. Yes, excellent. Love it.
Yeah. Right, so next up we have "Look Me in the Heart" and "Private Dancer." So "Look Me in the Heart," Tina sings about the need for honesty and authenticity in a romantic relationship. She implores her partner to be sincere and open, and to look beyond the surface and truly see her for who she is. The phrase "look me in the heart" signifies the desire for a deep, genuine connection that goes beyond appearances. So, Private Dancer, this song portrays the struggles and experiences of someone in the entertainment industry and the emotional and psychological toll that can come with performing for a living. The protagonist in the song describes feeling like a private dancer who dances for money and does what is expected to please the audience, despite internal conflicts and feelings of emptiness. So who should we go with? Let's go with Rob.
Yay! Only because Si's going to nick my facts otherwise, and he's gonna be on the other receiving end, right? So, Private Dancer. Let's get into the facts. Listening to it, I was like, it's a bit Dire Straits, isn't it? And then turns out it was written by Mark Knopfler.
There you go.
Yes, so the song was initially intended for the Love Over Gold album by Dire Straits.
You can tell.
Exactly. But musically, it was far lamer than I remembered it on listening back to it. And I hadn't realised it was so piano-oriented as well. So, yeah, you can absolutely hear the Dire Straits in it, though. And I probably would still lark about to it if I heard it.
You'd lark about to anything.
Yeah, I know. She seemed bored until the second time around in the verse, when then she lets rip. There's a nice long instrumental bit, though, which probably would have made for quite an interesting live jam. She could go off and have a cup of tea and the instruments could go on. Interestingly, the guitar solo was played by Jeff Beck. And here's the real fact for the day. Mark Knopfler once said that the song was ruined due to them drafting in Jeff Beck to play the world's second ugliest guitar solo. Yeah. And when pushed, he didn't say what the first was. Left it at that. So, yeah. Look me in the heart. So given what we know she can do with her vocals, this just sounded like Tina Turner on Cruise Control, apart from the one bit where she lets out a scream, which I presumed was like she'd been frustrated by having had to tone it down for the rest of the song. Oh, come on, we will sing! Look me in the heart was inoffensive to the point of being upsetting elevator music for me. But weirdly, I seem to remember it being in the charts.
Okay.
I just had that little worm going, is it in? Yeah. But yeah, Private Dancer for the win. Easy for me. Yeah.
Right. 1 point to Private Dancer. I'm going to go with Si next.
Yeah. Look me in the heart. When Tina starts singing that, there's another song there, but I can't think what it is. But I hear it every single time. I just can't pinpoint what the song is that she's influenced by, or is it she's influenced another song. I mean, it is a pretty standard and soul-drenched pop ditty, and if you take away the yet another sax solo and the breathy style 80s synths, there's not really a lot there. I don't want to say it's an album filler, but it comes across as an album filler more than anything else on the album. Yeah. Private Dancer, though, however, is like, if you want an example, or if you want the best example of Tina's sultry and sexuality in song format, I think this is probably it. The song has that edge, but it's that powerful. It actually gives that edge to the entire album. My notes are completely ruined because Robbie stole all my Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits facts.
I knew I would have.
And once you hear it in your head that it's a Dire Straits song, you can't unhear it.
Yeah, totally.
But Tina's passion, I think, makes it hers. Mm-hmm. And it's that passion. And we talked about passion so much last month, and it's kind of bleeding into this month. The lack of the passion.
Oh, yeah.
The complete opposite, yeah.
And it's that passion that wins it for me on this one. Hands down, Private Dancer.
Right,
nice.
Cool. Okay, over to you, Stu.
Right, so look at me at the heart. Good. It is a good sounding pop song. It really is. And I'll bet the fans all sing along to it. It's just one of those quite. If you're really into Tina, I'm sure if you've seen her live, and you'll be singing along to this one quite easy. but she does like the panpipes, or the producer did. They're always in there, always in there.
Yeah,
low in the mix, very low, but they're there. They're there just ready to pounce at you.
Are we at the period now where panpipe moods and albums like that were coming out?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Right, there's also a very strange, though, keyboard panpipe sound. They were actually using pipes or flutes or whatever, and then they'd use the keyboard version, which was awful sound. But a bloody saxophone, quit it, will you? Quit it. But I you know what? It says I really like this song because the way the drums are, and it's not even the sound. It's the way they do it. They do the fill when she comes to the end of a verse. It's just really nice, and maybe it's a drummer thing in me. It's just like, it's just nice. I like that. It's quite nice.
Oh, but very un-80s to actually have a fill.
Yeah.
Bonk, 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 bonk. Yeah.
To me, that sounded like a real drummer on that track as well. But who knows? I don't know. Private Dancer, another famous song. Again, it's like, what's the second song of Tina's, random person off the street? Oh, Private Dancer. So there you go. The chorus, right? This is a classic example of this. The chorus is the only good bit, because the rest of it doesn't matter what content of that lyric is. It's flat as fuck. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody wants to hear it. Everybody wants to hear, I'm a private dancer. That's all you want to hear, and nothing else.
I wondered when we were going to get our first impression.
Mid-late, though. The mid-late is fucking brilliant. I love the mid-late in this. It's just really uplifting, but fuck off with the sax. No more sax.
I just want to know when Alan Carr recorded the song.
But my vote is actually going Look Me in the Heart. I don't know. I've probably heard. Okay. The only reason it is because it's only the chorus in Private Dancer, which is any good, and everything else is just a bit. Oh, come on, we're waiting to get to the chorus, and there's the chorus.
Yeah,
again.
I think you're totally. If you ask the average person on the street, can you sing Private Dancer, they would absolutely be able to do the chorus and would have no clue about the verse. So
Look Me in the Heart for me.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's the first vote for Look Me in the Heart.
Cath, what do you think?
Is it going to be the only vote?
Well, I thought that Look Me in the Heart sounds like a disgusting thing to do.
Just like going into open heart surgery. Can I take a peek, lad?
Yeah. Tina is well hyped for singing this song as she lets loose a little warbled at the beginning. It's got that classic 80s synth pop sound to it. But I thought she sung the lyrics really gently and not in her usual powerful style, which, I prefer when she really lets rip.
Yeah.
But there are moments in the song that remind me of more modern styles of singing, where she lets loose the odd warbled I'm not going to try that, in between lines. So sort of reminiscent of like the way that Christina Aguilera sings and sort of more modern female singers. So I thought it was quite an interesting song.
You mean going around the note but not actually hitting the note?
Well, just trying all of the notes.
Apart from the one you actually aim for.
Yeah.
So, Private Dancer. So, I think you guys have really shown your age, because I've not heard this song before. And
what?
I've never heard this song before.
What the?
No, I don't believe it.
Wow.
You're just making this up. You're trying to be cool, aren't you? That's what. I don't know the song.
No,
I totally call bullshit on that.
I've never heard it before.
Wow.
But I thought it started with it sounds like a late night. And you just got home after sort of partying. It's got that sort of after party feel to it. Tina sings in a very quiet and restrained way, but does eventually let rip, which is what we want from Tina. And despite being the title track, it's the one that I've enjoyed the least so far. So I'm voting Look Me in the Heart.
Excellent choice.
So that's that one.
What does that bring? Is that 2-2
It's
then?
2-2 again.
So Look Me in the Heart wins,
It
I
does
guess.
indeed, yes.
I can't believe you've never heard Private Dancer before.
No,
That's the same as saying I've never seen Back to the Future
or The Sky.
I
love how we
up there.
I love how that whole conversation went with Stu starting it all off with going, if you ask anybody to name a Tina Turner song, second one they choose will be Private Dancer, as long as that person's not Cath.
Yeah.
Well, not anyone who's sort of under 45 years old. Then,
Oh, wow.
you old farts.
No, that's a part of history now. That's a part of history. You can't say that. It's just a classic song.
Yeah.
I just don't know how that's passed
It's
you
not
by.
as classic as you think it is.
Wow. That's incredible. Do you know, I once heard a conversation between some millennials, one of whom had no idea who Nirvana were.
Well, they could just fuck off.
Yeah, you know.
What, Nirvana or the kids?
The kids.
Yeah, not
How can
knowing
you
Private
not know
Dancer.
Nirvana? That's
It's
It's like, how can you not know Private Dancer? Right, shall we
Well, it's
move
not
on?
even that good.
But please tell me those millennial kids didn't follow it up with...
Shut up, Si.
Please tell me those millennial kids didn't say, though, oh, that drummer from Nirvana, he doesn't have to look like the lead singer from Foo Fighters.
No, I'd set fire to them by then.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Fair point.
Right, so coming up next, we have Be Tender With Me Baby versus... I've had some wine now. Let's Stay Together. So, Be Tender With Me Baby. In this song, Tina sings about the need for affection and emotional connection from her partner. She expresses a desire to be treated gently and with care, seeking reassurance and love in a world that can often be harsh and unkind. The lyrics convey a sense of vulnerability and a plea for understanding and compassion. So, Let's Stay Together. This song portrays a sense of optimism and belief in the power of love to overcome obstacles, emphasising the importance of staying together and supporting each other through thick and thin. Stu, would you like to kick us off?
I would love to kick us off. Unfortunately, I have no facts of like we've got with our Robbie and our Simon, but we'll let them deal with all that.
We're still here.
Those two can have the fight against who's got the most facts.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got Be Tender With Me Baby. Right, this is a bit of left field. I'm going to go with this one now. I just thought this sounded like Weezer right at the start.
Okay.
Right at the start. It was like very Weezer, or Weezer sound like this song, I should say.
Mm.
It's another Tina anthem, and it also reminds me of a kind of a Queen song. Obviously not the delivery and all that stuff, but it's the way it's all built up and the way the track's layered, and it's got a really nice feeling to it. It's just a nice feeling kind of track. There's a mad guitar part at the end though. It's like one of those. It's a bit like the Carpenters. You know that one song where they've got that mental guitar riff in that one song. It just doesn't make any sense, but it does. It works completely and utterly. And
we'll just shove that in there.
Yeah, this has got one in there. But Let's Stay Together. For Christ's sake, Cath, if you've never heard this song, there's something wrong with you. This is another Tina anthem. Probably not as high up in the charts of Tina anthems, but it is a Tina anthem. A family party classic. Sorry, Rob, I know you may not know. You know, if you go into like weddings and all that stuff. But it is a perfect Tina song. It's got all the bits in there which make a Tina song in my eyes or my ears. The drums though is a very drum machine sounding. They're just a bit off-putting to a point. They've just gone, right, we'll get a TR-808 and we won't do anything to it, and we'll just put that there and we'll just do that and that'll do, and we'll get rid of it there. But there's ace little guitar picks as well. The keyboard solo is really good, but it does whine, and it is whiny, but it is really, really good. Yeah, I know. I'm a complex lad. My vote is... it's a tough one because I really like the way Be Tender With Me Baby. I like the delivery of it. I like the feel. It's just a nice, song. But I'm going to go with what I've written on my notes. I'm going to go Let's Stay Together. That's going to be my pick.
Yeah, are you sure?
I am, but I really want to know what Simon thinks because he was pulling all the faces when I was talking. Can we have him next, please? Can we have him next? I want to know what he wants to say.
We're going to go with Rob next.
Oh, my facts are going out the window again.
I've only got one on this. So Let's Stay Together was, of course, a cover version, and it was an old Al Green song. So I hope that doesn't.
Right, there we go. Then there's your fact.
Yeah, there we go. Now I thought this song perfect for her voice, but still don't think it's as good as the original. And that is not because of Tina Turner. That's because of the instrumentation that's going on.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because since Let's Stay Together has more style of where Tina came from in the 50s and 60s, I thought she would have done a more faithful sort of cover version of it, which I thought would have been perfect. So, yeah, it did get detracted by that. Be Tender With Me Baby, Be Tender With Me Baby, was very much light as in the air. But she's back on track with the soaring vocals in this one. The big problem I had, and now we're reaching a point where this is becoming an issue as we go forward for me, is the fact that it started with the drums in this one, which just plod along and do absolutely nothing. And the problem now going forward is that what Tina's doing and what the music's doing are completely opposite. The music's plodding along and she's just full of emotion and, you know, going for it in places. But it just makes a mismatch.
But do you think that was more of a production style at the time? Because you go, you know what, Tina's the star of the show here, not the music. So we have to low key it right down. I know what you mean, but maybe that was they did that on purpose.
Yeah, so it's almost like a karaoke track with her brilliant singing over the top.
Perfect analogy.
You wouldn't pour sherbet over an ice cream, would you?
Well, now you've said that, I might give that a go. So yeah, I mean, in terms of the chords and stuff with Be Tender With Me Baby, it's following suit. And I totally appreciate she's the ace card and the solo artist, but yeah, it's forcing them apart at this point. But still, Be Tender With Me Baby for the win.
Right.
Simply because I liked the Al Green version of Let's Stay Together better.
Fine. Right. Sigh.
Can't fault that.
Enter your thoughts.
Into my thoughts. Into the microphone. So I'm feeling pretty much like Robert. It's like my notes are very similar for this one. It's like Tender With Me Baby has that. It's got like a pleading.
Come on, you can
60s...
do a better Tina than that.
Oh, be a creative.
It's going more into Elvis now. Pretend with me, baby.
Maybe that would have been a better version. It's got a very pleading 60s soul style like Percy Sledge and Sam Cooke used to have. But it couples it with a rock ballad for Tina to play with rather than that soulness. But like you say, it's starting to turn into a battle between the music and Tina. I mean, this song does show off her amazing vocal range and again the passion, and it's almost probably one of the first instances we've got of the hard soft vocals. But I mean, it is her competing against the music. I mean, she wins the battle hands down between like the soaring guitars and the strings. I just had a quick listen of it and I agree with you, Stu. Yeah, it's definitely a bit Weezer-ish at the beginning. Let's Stay Together though. I'm stunned at how many cover versions this woman has done so far in these two albums alone. And, you know, even if you swap verse 2 and verse 1 around, it's still a cover version. And it, like Stu said, it's the Al Green version, which our younger listeners and podcast host Cath was on the Pulp Fiction soundtrack.
Okay.
Like most people, I have this thing against the majority of cover versions in that if you're not going to make it your own or change it dramatically, then why do it in the first place?
Yeah.
And I just think this falls into that category. And while it's not a bad cover, she just doesn't add anything to it for it to be a great cover version. So, Be Tender With Me, baby.
Right.
I think also at this point, because it was a sort of her comeback album or sort of reinvention album, I think the producers probably had far more say. They were just sort of saying, right, this is what you need to do. This is what you need. Okay, I'll do that, you know.
And I think that's the problem I have with both of these albums. I don't think they are very record company pushed albums to me. They just don't feel... So they don't feel genuine in a one way. I mean, obviously you've got the classics on there and they have, and you know the Tina song, whatever. But I know there's just something It's not the Motown Tina.
There's not a lot of these songs that Tina has written. Some of these songs do feel like they've been pulled from a box of gimmicks of songs that the record company had, and some of them do sound like they've been written for Tina.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't really take away her vocal delivery, because obviously we all know that is the main staple of what people go for.
Well, a lot of when I was listening to these, I was thinking about Nutbush City Limits and Proud Mary a lot, and just thinking, wow, it's still the same woman. She's just got a different backing now.
Yeah.
Mind you, I think she was very professional, because even if she wasn't that keen on the songs, looking at her videos, she's amazing. She looks like she's loving it.
Yeah. Maybe she was,
Yeah.
It just doesn't come across as much as, like, I mean, there is the passion there, but I'm starting to think now we've got to, 6th track here. I don't know if it's like you're getting a lot of passion, or it's that you're not getting the passion in some songs. And when we're comparing them, it's making a small amount of passion be magnified.
Maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
But again, I think also when you look at her live performances, the record doesn't do the song justice compared to how she really goes for it live.
Did she ever have a live album?
She must do.
Yeah, I certainly saw some stuff. Barcelona, I think she'd done some gigs and they were on YouTube, so there must have been a live album.
Yeah,
must be.
Yeah, I would actually have liked to have gone to see her. To be honest, in reflection, I think I missed out.
Yeah,
classic artist.
She's just iconic. It would have been amazing to have seen her. Anyway, so
right,
I will share my thoughts with you.
Do
yes. So, Be Tender With Me, Baby. So I think, Stu, you mentioned that you thought it sounded like Weezer.
Only
at
the
think
start.
Somebody else mentioned another band, but for me,
Queen.
It reminded me of the 90s song "God Gave Rock and Roll to You" by Kiss.
Yes, that's where the Queen kind of.
Yeah,
and that's where I said Queen. It was a bit of a that kind of yeah.
But then it turned into sort of a late night love song with the slow drumming and the sort of the prolonged keyboard notes. And I wasn't too sure about it, but it picked up a bit when Tina warbled through the chorus, and I kind of got into it then. And then she really starts going for it, and the music becomes a total cheese fest. And I did actually laugh out loud at how cheesily the 80s the guitar solo was. So quite an amusing song, that. And then Let's Stay Together. So is that one that I'm supposed to have heard before? Because I haven't. Again, it's
what?
Hang on, you must have heard the original then, surely.
No, not. I don't.
Let's stay together.
No,
you've seen Pulp Fiction, yeah?
Yeah, I don't. I just didn't remember it, but I thought it started quite powerfully, and it sounded quite catchy and classic Tina. There were lots of enjoyable instrumental moments, including the crazy keyboard and brass instruments blasting out alongside Tina's powerful emotive singing. But I think I preferred the first one just because of the sort of the 90s rock band feel to it that I quite enjoyed. So I'm going to side with the majority here and pick Be Tender With Me, Baby.
All right.
So the next ones are You Can't Stop Me Loving You, which
I'm sure a restraining order can.
That's creepy.
Tell me that's not creepy.
And Better Be Good to Me.
Again.
Yeah, that's more threatening. The other one's more creepy.
So You Can't Stop Me Loving You. It's a song about determination, devotion, and the enduring nature of love. The singer conveys their deep determination to continue loving and being there for the person they love, regardless of if they want them to or not, or any obstacles.
Different times.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like a 3 a.m. phone call that you weren't expecting. You can't stop me from loving you.
Better Be Good to Me. This song is about the importance of being treated well and respected in a romantic relationship. Tina asserts that love should be reciprocal. Try saying that after a couple of glasses of wine. And free of mistreatment. And she emphasises the need for her partner to treat her with kindness and understanding. The lyrics suggest that despite the challenges and ups and downs of love, there's a demand for a fair and loving relationship. So, Si, what do you think?
Well, I don't think a lot on these two. My notes are pretty short on this one. You Can't Stop Me From Loving You. The drum and the bass beat is another song. Or maybe it's just another cliched 80s beat. I'm not sure. It's really a weird one. I don't dislike it, but I can't say I particularly like it either. 80s pop by the numbers, I think, is the best way of explaining it. And it's, I just didn't get on with it. It's nothing there that really jumped out at me. It's forgettable. I think it's the Better Be Good to Me is another cover version, this time with the band Spider. However, unlike Let's Stay Together, I think Tina makes this one on her own. It showcases her vocals, it has her distinct rock star swagger. The song could easily be written by Tina about her own story of struggles and resilience as well. So, coupled with not being able to see past more 80s cliche is probably why Better Be Good to Me wins this one for me.
Right, okay.
Wow.
And it's a cover, so that's not bad for
But
songs.
she doesn't have to make it her own. It's like it's
He got an exclusive fact in there as well.
oh, exclusive.
Yeah.
Okay, Rob, you're up.
Right. Better Be Good to Me. Lyrically awful. Totally middle of the road. I felt that even Tina's voice couldn't save this song, even though later on in the song she shows her chops once again. Do you know, it reminded me of some awful teen drama film from the 80s. And then right in the middle, it's like they slammed a different song into the middle of it. So it got much better. But even the mix seemed different in the middle. So I was like, what's going on? It could have just been my ears, of course. There's some cowbell for those that haven't had enough instrumentation yet. We've got a bit of cowbell in there. The drums, though, and I won't speak too much on this because Stu will probably have his own thoughts. I'm just going to put the word dull in there. And the ending sounded like balloons and confetti coming down from the roof from a live concert.
So it's like fun times.
I was not impressed with Better Be Good to Me. You Can't Stop Me Loving You, though. Funky time. The production, especially the drums, do suck. And the chorus especially on that. But another great vocal delivery. And we had a little bit of, what does that sound like with the yeahs in the middle? And it was I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett. I think, yes, came out of that one. So, but apparently Tina didn't like this song before having heard the final mix. She was a bit sort of, not really sure about it. She felt it was particularly repetitive. And the guitar outro had a little smack of ZZ Top about it, I thought, with the sort of pinch harmonics and things. Yes. So for me, more interest in You Can't Stop Me Loving You, and that one for the win.
It's interesting that she thinks that You Can't Stop Me Loving You was a bit repetitive after she just recorded You Know Who. He's doing You Know What.
Yes, exactly, right?
Okay, Stu, what do you think?
You Can't Stop Me Loving You. Another keyboard demo at the start. It is just, let's go to Argos. What they got on store? I'll have 265/442. Oh, thank you. Push the play button, and there we go. Ridiculously 80s, this song. Ridiculously 80s. However, Simon has a point. This sounds like a cover. Is it a cover? There's something in this song I've heard somewhere before. It's got to be a cover. I'm sure it has. Well, I did no research, so I don't know. The drums in it, yes, I got the cowbell. However, in my notes, and it must be the snare drum sound. Remember Fine Your Cannibals? That iconic snare drum sound of the only single anybody ever knows of Fine Your Cannibals. It's got that, but it's a very toned down version of it. So It was okay. It was just too 80s for me. It was just I was crying 80s. You know, leg warmers were coming out my tear ducts. It was like horrible. Better Be Good to Me. Right. I think I have a love-hate relationship with this song. And if you've listened to this on headphones, you probably understand why. There's one particular sound effect, and it is there from the start to the end, and it only lets up in the middle 8 for 4 bars. Not even the middle 8. Well, it is middle 8, but just 4 bars, and then it goes, and it's just a shh, 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 shh. And my God, that's all I could listen to. I couldn't hear anything else. I was just like a horse trying to. Anyway, but musically, I don't know. I found it more. That sound effect, that was just, I don't know what the fucking hell the sound engineer was thinking, or the producer. That was just awful. But I just thought the song moved nicer. It was just, her vocal delivery was more important than the music, but the music had a little bit more interest. I had no interest in that one, but it had more drive to it, and it just complemented it on that side. Yeah, I'm just like, I like the way it built it up, but I've always had a problem with songs what fade out, and it's a fade out song. It's just like, you don't need to fade out a song, because when you play live, you're not going to fade out. Unless you're going to whisper, like she does. Yeah, you don't need it. You know, just end the song. It's fine. Yeah, don't be scared. Just
big 80s thing, though, isn't it? The whole fade out.
Yeah,
to the
Well, this here though, she doesn't really do that much. But just there's a few tracks. There's just prominent fade. Oh, if there is, I haven't really noticed. But this one's definitely a prominent. There's a fade out, and it doesn't need it. It goes on too long as well. The fade out. It's one of those ones where you know that it's just fading out to right to the bit, and she has to do the highest note she can just to like, I'm still here. I'm still here. All right. So anyway, my vote goes Better Be Good to Me.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So we've got 1 vote for You Can't Stop Me Loving You, and 2 for Better Be Good to Me.
Ah.
The threat song. So
that's my big tip. I'm scared.
You Can't Stop Me Loving You. I'll start with that. So I very much enjoyed the drums at the beginning, because we've not had an intro like that yet. And then the 80s synth sliding in. It felt like quite a funky song. And Tina's going to love you whether you want her to or not. So get over it. Although I felt this was one of the less powerful tracks. And to be honest, it was instantly forgettable. I can't, even now, I can't even remember what the melody was. And I only listened to it about an hour ago. So Better Be Good to Me. So I kind of liked the late 80s New Order True Faith-alike intro. And I was just sort of wondering if Tina made a music video for this track, it would feature 2 people standing in barrels hitting each other. But then the piano melody that came in just completely killed that nostalgia for me. I thought there were some interesting percussion instruments going on with this one. And it sounded a little bit Christmassy in parts as well. Although that's probably just this time of year that I'm sort of aware of bells and sort of churchy sounds making me think of Christmas. But I wonder if the title of the track was indeed intended as some sort of threat or warning. However, Tina is clearly getting her sauce on again with this track, so who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not keen on either of them really, but I think I guess I found Better Be Good to Me just more interesting. I had sort of more things to say about it, so that will get my vote. So I'm again going to go with the majority on this. So that's 3 votes to Better Be Good to Me and just 1 for You Can't Stop Me Loving You.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Even with the ZZ Top pinch harmonics. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Ask Me How I Feel versus Steel Claw. So Ask Me How I Feel is a song about a woman who's struggling in her relationship. She feels like her partner is not paying attention to her or her needs and is starting to feel resentful. She wants him to ask her how she feels, but he's too caught up in his own world to notice. Selfish bastard. Steel Claw, it's a powerful and defiant anthem about female empowerment and self-respect. The singer is demanding to be treated with respect in her relationship, and she's not afraid to walk away if she doesn't get it. So let's start with Si?
Okay, I thought you were going to go with Rob there, but ask me how I feel. I mean, I hear British rock band Skin's Tower of Strength in the intro of Ask Me How I Feel.
Okay.
That's probably a band that no one's ever heard of.
That's a reference that's just going to slide.
Yep, definitely. It's going to be a video for the Facebook group in a couple of weeks. I can see that.
Yeah, but Cath will go, yeah, I know them really well. I can't believe you lot don't know them.
I mean, this is a monumental battle of two songs that the average person wouldn't know about. Ask Me How I Feel is 80s, 90s soft rock 101. There's a soaring sax solo, again. There's a talky bit in the middle, and then those vocal chops are just getting highlighted over and over again. Against most other tracks, Ask Me How I Feel would be going through without a second thought for me. However, it's going against Steel Claw, which, when you first start, you're getting Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting. You're getting that guitar riff of that. And then you get that vocal inflections and the angry syllable rhythm of Nutbush City Limits, you know, the ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba, ba-ba type rhythm. And I would go as far as saying this song's content is timeless. It's about the corrupt and unfair nature of society, being that the rich in society benefit from it, all their power and greed, to the detriment of everyone that's lower down and working class. The song was written 40 years ago, and it could have been written last month.
Yeah.
You know, it's unreal. So, all things considered, that's why I'm going to have to go with Steel Claw. I'm ignoring the Dr. Seuss lyrics and what the fuck the Savage Jaw is, but other than the fact that it rhymes with fucking Steel Claw, it just edges it for me. But I won't be sad if Ask Me How I Feel wins either. It's one of those battles. I'm happy for either song to go through, but for me, Steel Claw just edges it.
Well.
Stu.
Right. Ask me how I feel. Go on, ask me. Ask me how I feel. Go on. I really like the feeling of this song. It's just a nice, slow, anthem-y kind of, really nice drums. They seem like real drums as well. They've got that, or they've been really well. No, they're real. I'm sure they're real drums. What have I put in my notes here? Another fucking sax solo. Yes, that's another one. But look, this is what Zoe said. Is this a Tina rap in the middle eight?
Yeah, there's like a talky bit, isn't there?
Yeah, she's rapping. That's a rap. Tina rap. The song is either actually ruined now by the sax solo. That one, to me, this song had the most egregious sax in than there. It was just like, no. What are you playing at? You don't need it. To be fair, the whole song trips really nice. It's sort of got a really nice feeling. The vocals are really powerful when they need to be powerful. And then this fucking sax turns up. It's probably the wrong studio going, oh, sorry.
Anyone order a sax?
Yeah, you order a sax.
So, speaking of saxophones, I had watched some of her videos during this, and one of them just happened to have a saxophone solo in it. I don't think it was particularly this track, but the saxophone player was a long-haired, muscled guy with a sort of wife-beater T-shirt on and oiled and sort of thrusting as he was playing the saxophone solo. And I couldn't have thought of anything less sexy.
That sounds disgusting.
I'm just thinking it's like, tell me you're an 80s sax player without telling me you're an 80s sax player.
I'd love to know if any sax player in the world actually would ever dress like that, a real one. Surely that was a stunt saxophone player.
Stunt saxophone player.
Right, Steel Claw, yes. So fucking Elton John. It's ridiculous. Why wasn't she sued? Don't get it. Is it the same record label Elton John was on? I don't know. That was ridiculous. Is this punk Tina? She's like experimenting with a little bit of punk. This song, I know there's a musical of Tina Turner, but this is a musical song. Surely it's like, I could see this slotted in Rocky Horror Show or those kind of things, just like put in there. I don't really know what the song's about. I didn't. If I read them, I didn't really understand. Is it about Robin? Is it about having a secret identity of the Steel Claw? I don't know.
I am.
I am. But I really like the high tempo of it, the song, and it just there's a lot of different styles in there. It's just really, and I think it's written for a musical. That's why there's lots of different things going on. It's all over the place. That's why it gets my vote, because it's just all over the place. I like it. Steel Claw it is for me.
Right then. Who's next? Rob.
Are you going to go next?
Yeah, I might do.
We're going to draft in another host just so we can...
Live by satellites.
Hi. So, Si, you described this as a monumental battle. I would have thought it was more of a sort of steamrolling by one track over another. Ask Me How I Feel. The intro. And really weird that she thought that You Can't Stop Me Loving You was repetitive when you compare it to this.
Yeah.
So much more repetitive. Lighters in the air, an offensive saxophone, so 80s. Versus, yes, Rock Out with Tina.
Yeah.
Punk
Yes,
Tina.
brilliant. Like, and as I was listening to it, I could totally see her going nuts on stage. And I thought, right, I'm going to have to look this up. And I looked it up. Yes, she was going nuts on stage. And it's everything I want from Tina Turner, this track. It's got rapid fire vocal delivery. It's got a shimmy to it. It's aggressive. It just totally put me in a good mood, this track. Absolute win.
Yeah.
One of the best tracks of the two albums. I loved it.
Do you know what it's about?
Don't care. And that's the thing. It's the rhythm of the vocals. I don't care what she's singing about. It's the funkiness and the delivery that gets me in the brilliant, really good. Steel Claw for me.
Okay, right. So that's doing very well.
Here comes the Napalm Death card.
Oh no!
Well, Ask Me How I Feel. So this song makes me imagine that Tina's in a relationship with basically an emotional absentee. So she's supposed to meet up for a date night with him, and he didn't show up, and she's waiting in the rain for ages. And she's like, well, ask me how I feel about that then. So goes to the hairdresser's, get this hot haircut, and he doesn't notice. Would you ask me how I feel about that then? Ditch him, Tina. So I think I was much more interested in the story that the lyrics were telling than the music. I thought the only thing that I really noticed was the saxophone solo, which very much suggests that she's hot stuff and the guy is yesterday's news. That's what I got from that song.
Right.
So Steel Claw. So any song that starts with a shout at the start is going to be brilliant. Really fast tempo, and if Tina used to strut her stuff around the stage singing this one, I reckon she's going to get out of puff pretty quickly. It's absolutely stomptastic.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I've read the lyrics correctly, but she's shagging someone in a stairway, and then it seems like she decks him later on in the song because he's disrespectful. She's really going for it in this song.
It's because she's the Steel Claw.
She certainly is. Yeah, wow. But yeah, Steel Claw also gets my vote because it's just
unanimous.
Way superior. So that one is going in.
Yeah.
I'm just having to check these lyrics now.
All right, we're getting to the tail end
We
now.
certainly are. So the first track is called Falling Like Rain, and it's about the pain and disappointment of a relationship that's falling apart. The singer is struggling to come to terms with the fact that her relationship is over and she's feeling lost and alone. The second one is Help. So the original song is by the Beatles. Help is a plea for assistance and support. In the song, the singer expresses a sense of desperation and the need for help to navigate through life's challenges and anxieties. The lyrics convey a cry for assistance, a desire for someone to come to their aid and provide comfort. Rob, tell us what you think.
Right. Well, so interestingly, Help was identified in my brain as being the Beatles before I heard it, simply because of the exclamation mark. And I thought to myself, I hope this isn't the Beatles one. If it hadn't been for the exclamation mark, I would never have thought that. So, I don't like it. I don't like that cover version. But it's because of the music, not the vocals. Her delivery's great, especially when she's singing Help Me If You Can, I'm Feeling Down, where she actually goes, I'm feeling down. Which I thought was really good. But again, she's trying to put a bit of emotion into it. There's a little bit of gospel in there as well, which is nice. But even that clashes with the rest of the music, which just basically ruins it. And Jesus Christ, if there was ever an unwelcome saxophone, it was in this. Yeah, just not good. Falling Like Rain, slap, slap, slap goes to bass. But what is going on with the snare drum? It sounds like a sampled car crash to me.
Really?
Yeah, awful. Again, another great vocal delivery, bit buried by the harmonized vocals in this one. Just get rid of them, just let her shine. And then I've written the words that I never thought I'd write, which were, I wonder if in the 80s this sounds mad fresh.
Yeah, bro.
Just like where that statement should have stayed.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with me at that point. But yeah, Falling Like Rain wins just because Help is... If they let it down to her to do the instrumentation, maybe choose some, some just real instruments, a 3-piece or something, she could have made a really good. But again, they're just trying to wedge all these instruments in. Yeah, let's put saxophone in there. Let's put some cowbells in. Have we got a piano? No, that can go in as well. It just, it's not in the spirit of what I thought the original was like. So yeah, Falling Like Rain for me.
Si, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I didn't look into it as much as Rob.
That's unusual.
Falling Like Rain, another song about the fucking weather. This is the aspect of Tina I don't particularly care for. What do I like about it? Not a lot. What do I dislike about it? Not a lot. It's just a cookie cutter pop ditty about being in love with someone who doesn't feel the same way. It's been done 1,000 times before this song. It will be done 1,000 times again. There's nothing there that really goes through it.
I can't wait for Katy Perry.
I can.
Yeah, me too. Help. Yet another cover version. We've mentioned it a few times. I wasn't aware of how many cover versions this woman did. Help, as Robbie said, formerly a Beatles song, and for our even older listeners, younger listeners than the Beatles, Bananarama and La Ni Nunu cover version.
Wow.
La Ni Nunu was obviously Dawn French, Jennifer Saunders and Kathy Burke. And was done for Comic Relief many, many years ago. But both the Bananarama and the Beatles versions were upbeat songs. Tina's version flips that completely, and it becomes a song from someone that just lost a relationship, more so. And again, it's the simple question, does Tina add enough to the cover version or not? Yes, she does. But does the music? The backing singers on this one were quite nice. Tina's passion. Yeah, she's got a lot of vocal ranges when she's auditioning for Eeyore as well, when she's feeling down. I got the sax solo. I got like a reggae vibe from it. And I liked that sax solo, the reggae feel of it. Just not in this fucking song.
Yeah. It's all wedged together.
It's in the wrong song.
Yeah.
All saxes are in the wrong song.
They should be in their own song, away from all other music.
No song away from everything.
See, if she just had a piano and a drummer doing this, just giving a simple backbeat, and then let her emotion shine through, could have been a killer track.
Yeah,
I think that's definitely a product of its time. I think sax was a very, very popular instrument in the 80s, and I think if it was done now, it would just literally be piano. It actually might have been just been a piano.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be
and maybe a bass.
Yeah, I'm thinking Adele live type element. It would just be Adele sitting on a piano.
I'm thinking not enough bands have ukuleles these days.
Well, we've not reached the end of this yet.
So for me, as much as I don't love the cover version, she does do enough to change it. She does enough to change it. And I just feel like Falling Like Rain is just too cookie cutter, and it's something we've heard before. We'll hear it again. So,
All right.
help,
1-1.
help, yeah.
Right, okay, 1-1. So, what do you reckon, Stu?
Well, I think Robbie and Si have said most of the stuff really, which is all the obvious things. My notes are very small though, very little, but I just don't like it. To be fair, I didn't even realise it was a Beatles cover. I didn't, so I just listened to it as purely as just what the song was, which was
Right.
probably more healthy than knowing there was a backstory and all that kind of stuff. And I just didn't like it at all. And the sax can go and fuck right off. But I have wrote in my notes, I need help, and I put then sorry Tina. So I've already apologised to her in that sense. Honestly, it's egregious. You know, when I said earlier on that song, no, this is actually the worst song, I think, with the sax on there.
Yeah.
Funny Night Rain. I know exactly what you're saying there, Si. But this song, you could remove Tina's vocals and put another hot sensation pop singer on there. This song is so modern, or it sounds like you could release it now, and it would just work. It is a very R&B cookie cutter pop song. No frills, not offensive, not edgy. Doesn't need to be. Does the job. This is the kind of thing what you'd see on Jules Holland. And you'd really like it as well because I think the whole band would be into it because it's very simple. So they can express more as in dancing and enjoying themselves in that way because it's quite easy and that kind of thing. And I don't know, I'd love to see this live in Jules Holland. It just would have been awesome, I think.
Yeah, you might have a point there. That's like it might be a live track more. It's one of those
maybe
things that is a live track.
To be fair,
an album track.
I didn't do any research in looking at videos, and I didn't do any research at looking at live stuff. I just had the albums of purely what the albums were. And I liked this one for what it was. Yes, it isn't groundbreaking. You are completely right. It's the most cookie-cutter pop song. But it's the thing, you could literally release it today and it would work perfectly. So Falling Like Rain gets my vote.
All right.
Right then, okay. I think you guys have pretty much said everything I thought about these tracks as well. I don't really have much to say in addition to what's already been said. I thought Falling Like Rain, very poppy track. I sort of really noticed the backing singers in this track more so than any of the other tracks, which, I wonder what that says about the track. But it was poppy, but it really didn't have much else going for it other than, you could hear this one on the radio.
Right.
Whereas Help, I didn't really, so I knew it was what the Beatles cover.
Did you? Had you heard it before?
I was familiar with this one. But I was just, before I listened to it, I was thinking, I wonder what she's going to do with it. This is going to be quite interesting. So I wasn't really quite sure what to expect with it. But then when I heard it, I was really surprised because it's quite different from all of the other covers I've heard of this song. And I probably wouldn't have known it was the song by like a cover of the Beatles song if I'd heard it on the radio because it's so different.
Yeah.
And I thought it was quite listenable as well. So it certainly was more interesting than Falling Like Rain. So Help gets my vote. So it's 2-2 again, I'm afraid.
No way!
No way!
Yeah.
You're going to make people listen to Help.
I certainly am.
My God!
It's the right choice. Get that funky reggae vibe sax in people's ears.
Wow. Well, we're into the final three.
We certainly are. Right. So we've got I Don't Want to Lose You versus 1984. So, in I Don't Want to Lose You, Tina expresses her deep love for her partner and the fear of losing them. The lyrics convey a sense of vulnerability and the recognition that love is precious and should be treasured. The singer emphasises her determination to keep the relationship intact and not let it slip away. In 1984, the lyrics of the song are inspired by the themes and concepts present in George Orwell's novel. The novel 1984 portrays a totalitarian society under constant surveillance and control, where Big Brother, the party, and the thought police dictate every aspect dictate every aspect of life.
So many words.
So many words.
The song captures the oppressive and dystopian atmosphere depicted in the novel. Stu, let's start with you.
Right.
All right.
Excellent. I'm going to piss over Robbie and Sign now.
Oh, he's got facts.
Right. I don't want to lose you. That is another classic Tina song, or I think it is. I think I've heard it many, many times before. It is a weird song, though. Lyrically, it's just messed up. I mean, women of a certain age. Whoa, okay. It is classic Tina. It's got all the Tina highs and lows and like all the and all that kind of stuff. But when you read the lyrics, they are a bit okay. Where were you? What were you doing? And did you write this? I'm not too sure if she wrote it or something else wrote it.
Probably not.
So, but goddamn, sax off. Get your flight case and do one.
Yeah,
Nobody
agreed.
wants it. 1984. The Bowie version pisses over this. I'm sorry. This is awful. This song. It sounds like a Heavy 17 song because it was produced by the Heavy 17 guys. So it's so they fact number 2 from Stu. And you can tell it's all that. I don't really understand what's going on musically. It was just a complete right. This is the cool shit going on at the moment, Tina, and we want you to be now. Okay, so what we're going to do is get some Heavy 17 drums. Okay, when you want me to sing? It's like, in a minute, Tina. I just need to calibrate the keyboards and all those kind of things. And
she wasn't 83 in 1984.
I love the fact that Stu thinks Tina's living a fucking musical and sings everything.
Well, doesn't she? Didn't she even? This is now nothing to do with Tina. This is all to do with Bowie. What the fuck is a Savage Jaw? I even put in our little group chat yesterday. I'm just doing some research. I have no idea what this is. So I've been reading the lyrics. I'm going, nope. I have no idea what Bowie's even talking about here. Not at all. And it's just maybe me being stupid. I don't know. But that's like my problem with a Bowie thing, not Tina, because she didn't write the song. But however, of all me just slagging off 1984, it is the better song. Just because. God, I feel like a hypocrite. Just because it's mental. It doesn't work. But it does. And
you're going to make people listen to that.
Yeah, I am more happy that she experimented. Right. I Don't Want to Lose You. I Don't Want to Lose You is a typical cookie cutter Tina Turner song. It just is. And she delivers it really well. There is nothing wrong with that song. It's perfectly Tina Turner, and it, apart from the sax, can beep beep.
Yeah.
It can just go.
Yeah.
1984 is just Tina just went, I'm bored. What can I do? What's the hottest shit at the moment? And that's where she went to, Heavy 17. Yeah, I've got them on speed dial. Well, back then, was it a speed dial or was it a rotary? Was it rotary? I don't know. So that's why it's got my vote, really. It's just because it's mad. It's mad enough to win in my eyes, but I don't even like the song. I don't even like Bowie's version, to be fair, but it's the better version. But anyway,
okay.
I will know.
You're saying in your eyes that's the better song. You know that Specsavers is open tomorrow, yeah?
Listen, I know my argument is flawed. I've already explained why my argument is flawed.
Oh, dear. Your explanation is hilarious.
Yes, it is.
It's like, I don't know if he thinks he's Tina Turner doing these songs or Craig David from Ghostwriters rocked up here.
So which one are you going to vote for?
I've said.
Oh, sorry, I've been laughing too much. Which one? 1984.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Rob, you're next.
Well, I don't know how to follow that, but I'll
Try.
I'm old.
So is the Savage Jaw a bit like that track that Iron Maiden did about Dune, where it's from the book, The Savage Jaw?
Oh,
I think so.
We
Yeah.
just don't get the context,
okay.
possibly.
Okay.
But my thoughts on 1984, regardless of comparing it to Bowie or whatever, I just thought another brilliant lyrical delivery buried under some awful 80s production, basically. And I have written down Truly a Shame. I can't recommend this track except as an object lesson in how to mix your ace card into a sludgy mess. So that's all I have to say about that.
Right. Okay.
I Don't Want to Lose You. Yeah. So again, I was like, I've heard this. I know this. I don't. Where? So I did a bit of fact checking. It was released as the album's second single in '89, and as a third single in the rest of Europe and Australia in early '90. Became a top 10 hit in Belgium and the UK. So it's probably where it's all come from.
Sorry, I'm still laughing at Stu.
With me, Cath. With me, not at me.
The chorus lyrics aren't great, but the bit that I did like in the vocals was "Women like this are like this." I thought that was, I didn't mind that. I thought that was quite cool. And I thought that only Tina Turner could get away with that because of her sort of gravitas and standing. I'll tell you what it's like, you know. So I quite like that. But yeah, again, I've written a comment that Stuart's written a few times. The saxophone can fuck off.
I'm so going to knock me out on this one.
Yeah, comparatively, because of '84 being such a sludgy mess, I went with "I Don't Want to Lose You" for the win.
Fair. That's fair enough. That is fair. Fair enough.
Si, what do you think?
Well, here's one for fact fans. The Savage Jaw is actually the lesser-known sidekick of the Steel Claw. Clearly.
Okay.
Have you just looked that up?
No, I made it up, Stu.
So it's not her vagina then?
No, it might well maybe. Well, that fucking escalated quickly, didn't it?
Wow.
I never even thought of that. Yeah. It could be, you know.
Fucking it. We've got to give Cath more wine.
Oh, we can't. I mean, that is bad.
Anyway, where are we?
So I Don't Want to Lose You is a weird one. I don't know how I'm going to follow my notes from yours, Stu.
You can't.
Am I hearing other influences, past and future, in the song, or am I just remembering I Don't Want to Lose You from a bygone day? It's simple, it's plain, it's sort of slow, but yet perky love song that kind of just ambles along. It's pretty much what we moaned about Green Day last month. It's like she knows what her fans want to hear.
Yeah.
And she's kind of recorded a song that does that. It's got that. Someone ordered another fucking sax player after they just binned the last one. And he makes an appearance here. The reverb effect on the drums lets you know they are 80s drums that are not programmed. Yeah. I mean, I think this was an enforced requirement in the 80s. I don't want to say it's an exceptional song, because I don't think it is. But I also don't want to sleep on it either. It's better than good, and it deserves to be on a lot of playlists. But is it better than a cover version of David Bowie's 1984? Well, fuck me, yes it is. Without even a second thought, yes it is. Yeah, this version is changed greatly from Bowie's 70s soul-laden funk version. But all that is good about Bowie's version is completely stripped out and replaced with all that is wrong about the fucking 80s. It's got synths, it's got drum machines, it's got reverby backing vocals. It's got a section that sounds like the Commodore 64 ocean loading screen. I mean, I know
the reminiscence.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've said that if you do a cover version, you have to change it enough to make it your own. But if you change it and just fill it with great piles of steaming shite, it doesn't count.
Wow.
But wasn't she really close with Bowie? Like, especially when she split with Isaac and she taken hiatus from recording, and Bowie sort of got her back into the industry. Do you think he went, Tina?
Do you
Do
know
you want to
Tina?
do you know Tina? Yes, that's me. Okay, all right. Just in case you didn't know who you were, would you like one of my songs? Oh. Which one? Which one can I have? This one. Oh shit.
No, I think what it is that because she's under this reinvention at this point, she's basically left it up to the production team and the management to guide her, and she's just gone, okay, we'll try this.
And they've just thrown as much shit at the wall as possible.
It is, but I'm now going to put myself in context of at the time. I mean, at the time, what phrase did Robbie use again? The fashionable. No, what was it? What did you say?
I can't remember.
No, the one where I can't believe I'm going to say this. Mad. Was it mad? Mad skill.
Mad Fresh.
That's it, Mad Fresh.
Yes, Mad Fresh.
I bet this was a Mad Fresh track. I mean, when she heard it, and they were probably in the booth, and they were playing it back, and she was going, "Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, I'll go with this."
Yeah.
Obviously, does not age well at all. It's like the really nice wines turn now into vinegar, and you can't even be asked.
But look at the album track listing. I know we don't look at the album and speak about it in general, but this followed Steel Claw, then a completely unique version of Help, and then 1984. Stop the album. Before you hit record, just stop the fucking album.
Well, let's see what Cath says, because Cath could change.
So, I don't want to lose you. So, for reasons that are hard to explain and that I'm not going to get into, I found this very depressing, and I felt very kind of just very sad listening to this song. It sort of triggered something in me that I didn't like, and that made So it also stuck in my head for a while as well. I mean, it's a classic Tina track, and I like that she lets loose a few warbles before the track starts. And it's a bit of an unusual song, as the lyrics and the melody seem kind of very like sad and melancholic, but then the chorus suggests something completely different. It's one of her hits, but I don't know. I just didn't really like the place it made my brain go to. So 1984. So I was expecting something kind of dark and oppressive from this track, given that it's based on the book. And it was a real mishmash of sounds. So it started kind of unnerving. But then the piano tinkling comes in and an 80s synth. And just there's a lot of contrasting sort of impressions and feelings going on with the music. And I really didn't know what to make of it. When Tina's lyrics come in, you kind of it's a relief, because you feel like you're sort of in familiar territory then.
Right.
But the backing singers, I felt, did nothing other than add a very thick layer of unnecessary cheese into the track. And yes, there is such a thing as unnecessary cheese. So I just thought that this might be the first track that I'm really not into at all. So I think there are some that I've sort of thought, oh, okay, they're a bit bland and not very memorable, but okay. But I think this is the first one that I've just sort of disliked. So I'm going to have to go with the one that puts me in a sort of unhappy place instead, just because it's the better track of the two. So I Don't Want to Lose You wins.
Yeah, wins.
Okay.
Can't fault
All
that,
right.
even though I voted for 1984, but yes, I completely agree with everybody. Not going to change my votes, but I agree.
Right then, so next up we've got Not Enough Romance versus We Didn't Need Another Hero, Thunderdome. So not enough. I mean, it's in brackets. That's why I've said it like that.
We don't need another hero. Not we didn't.
We didn't need one. We got one anyway.
We got one. His saxophone John is over there.
We didn't need another hero. We got one anyway. He plays the fucking sax, doesn't he?
Oh, we didn't need one though.
Right, so I can't read anymore. Right, Not Enough Romance. Tina sings about feeling unfulfilled and yearning for a deeper connection with her partner. The lyrics suggest that the romance in a relationship has faded or is insufficient, leaving her wanting more love and intimacy. The singer expresses a desire for more exciting and passionate love, emphasising the need for a stronger emotional bond. We don't need another hero. It's was released in 1985 as part of the soundtrack for the film Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. The film is set in a world devastated by nuclear war where people are struggling to survive and form new societies. The song embodies a spirit of resilience, self-determination, and the need to form their own destiny despite the difficult circumstances. It became an anthem symbolising the resilience of the human spirit and hope for a better world. Let's start with Sai.
Yeah, can we just get into a bit of fact-checking, hopefully, Si? I think he's the man I'm going to look to for this. This wasn't on the album, was it?
This is where we did a little bit of creative licensing because it is on the deluxe edition of the album, but there was 9 tracks on the deluxe album, and 7 of them are remixes of songs that are on the album. And these 2 tracks, We Don't Need Another Hero, and the next one, One of the Living, was on the Mad Max original soundtrack for Mad Max 3, but it doesn't appear on any other albums. The Mad Max album was not her album. It was typical 80s fare. It was like an album of classical music or instrumental music, and then 2 named artist tracks, but it's being Tina Turner. So that's where we've added these 2 on.
Thank you.
That's it. I'm up now as well. So, Not Enough Romance. Similar to 1984, if you weren't sure when it was recorded, the fucking drum machine, the synths, and the variation of those frame drops gives you more clues than fucking Columbo.
You are so right.
I mean, it's a nice little 80s ditty about love, but again, what does it add to the world? Not a fucking lot.
Not a lot.
Are people going to rush out to search this song out on a playlist? No, they're not going to. Would I skip it? No, but I wouldn't rush to play it either. Another hero. We don't need one.
Not another one,
anyway.
No.
Let's get out of the West Way first. It feels like the word Thunderdome was just shoehorned in there to be included on the Mad Max soundtrack. The song doesn't need that reference at all. And as a power ballad, it works. I mean, the guys that wrote it won the Ivor Novello Award for the song, both musically and lyrically. So it is literally just a shoehorn for a movie tie-in. I laugh every time when that good old sax comes in for the solo. Because if you listen closely, not even Tina's fucking expecting the sax there, because she continues to sing the chorus before changing to a da 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 underneath the sax solo.
Just waiting for it.
When the backing choir kicks in, though, at the end, it's just a chef's kiss moment. It's kind of like the Pink Floyd, Another Brick in the Wall type chorus. And for fact fans out there,
oh no!
Have I seen that you're right here? The choir comes from the King's House School in Richmond, and one of those choir members that featured on the song, it's England rugby union captain Lawrence Delalio. I think that's how you say his name. He is on that song. Why? How? What the fuck? How? What is going on in the world? For me, We Don't Need Another Hero is an iconic Tina song as well. Even with the shoehorn of Thunderdome in there. Because it is shoehorned. It's like, we don't need another hero. Thunderdome. Hands down for me. We don't need another hero.
Right, cool. So Stu, what do you reckon?
Not Enough Romance.
Okay, great. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks.
The 808 sounding drum machine at the start, it is the most 80s. It's just, I like 808's down, by the way. It's really good, but not in this sense. The bass line is ridiculously 80s. Even the keyboard reminded me of the theme tune to Doogie Howser. Remember how annoying that was when you were a kid? Wow. And how much you wanted to just punch the MD in the eye. Ooh. But this is the only track I actually quite like. The fade. The fader actually worked, kind of.
Does that mean because it was over?
Yes, there is that. Yeah, but it was okay. However, it's up against We Don't Need Another Hero. I'm sorry, it's gonna lose. It is gonna lose. This song is brilliant. It's got all the emotions, and you are right. I love it when a choir kicks in, so like a kids, and it's just that extra step up in emotion, and you will not hear me ever say this ever again, but I think the sax bit worked. I know you said it was a bit like
wow.
No, but it's just the way it goes ridiculously high. It just goes really high, and then she kind of matches it in a way, and it kind of works. It's not really a sax solo if you think about it. It's more of a blast. Well, there is a song.
Yeah.
I think by this point you've got Stockholm syndrome.
maybe. Top chorus. I mean, it's just, this song's ace. I love this song. I bought this song on a single as well when it came out. So
Wow.
Okay.
I really, really like this song. Shoehorn Thunderdome. Okay, maybe I'm a simplistic lad. I don't know. Even in Thunderdome's even in brackets in the song title. So it's like, yeah. But I never saw it as a shoehorn thing. It just, because to me it was made for the film. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't made
Yeah.
for a Tina song. It was made for a specific purpose for a film. The film's not actually that good. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's very 80s.
Rose tinted glasses.
Yeah, it's all right. It's, the first Mad Max film was great, but it all goes after there. But
Yeah.
it's I like this song. It's going to get my vote.
Right.
All right.
Right then. Rob.
Okay. Well, it's just not really a comparison here. Not enough romance. I just thought that all 80s keyboards suck. Lyrically, pretty boring. But again, delivery-wise, at this point, I'm thinking she could sing the phone book, and it would make me think, it'd be fine. We don't need another hero. Very different track from We Didn't Need Another Hero. So that I would have liked that to have been a follow-up version.
Sequel.
But interesting fact that Tina Turner was backed by a choral group from the King's House School in Richmond.
And who was in that choir?
Robbie?
Yeah, I don't know if you knew, but one of the choir members.
No.
Just amazing, really. Anyway, yeah. All I can say is an iconic track by her. But again, do you remember the verses?
No.
Is it all about the chorus?
All about the chorus.
All about the
All
chorus.
about it.
So yeah. So in terms of which one's better, we didn't need another hero.
Because we already had one.
Yeah, we had one. You got rid of him. We were doing fine. You got one in anyway. It's more of a board meeting. So yeah, we don't need another hero. Definite win. Easy.
Right, okay, so not enough romance. So I felt that there was something of the evening about this song.
What? Going to bed?
Yeah, quite possibly. Tina is very much in her comfort zone, singing about picking up guys and falling for them a little bit. I felt that there's really nothing noteworthy in this song. Not one of her hits for sure. Doesn't really add anything to the album other than filler. Really? So we don't need another hero. I have to say that very carefully now. So I had very high expectations of this song based on the description of it. I was expecting really roaring vocals and screaming 80s guitar riffs. What I got was the polar opposite. Panpipes and Redbones, Come and Get Your Love.
Had you heard this song before?
I probably had when I watched the movie,
Right.
20, 30 years ago or something, but it's certainly not one that I remembered, which is
Okay,
why I was
wow.
sort of surprised by, this isn't sort of angry, sort of post-apocalyptic stuff. This is quite chilled. So quite unexpected. But yes, it certainly picked up with the chorus when Tina belts out the lyrics. But then it slides straight back into the chill zone with each verse.
Yeah.
But the chorus did feel a little bit familiar, and it's quite catchy. But I just felt it was only good when she was singing the chorus. The rest of it wasn't really that interesting at all. So you talk about choirs, I didn't even notice it. I think I just sort of turned off, just tuned out with most of the song. But as soon as she started singing the chorus, I was like, oh yeah, quite a good song. But whatever I thought about it, it's still better than Not Enough Romance.
Yeah.
So it is a unanimous vote of 4 for We Don't Need Another Hero.
Is that the first clean sweep?
People would be up in arms if we didn't put that one in, I reckon.
Yeah.
And quite rightly so.
Yeah.
Is that the first clean sweep of this?
No.
No, second one.
Second one. Yeah.
The first one was Steel Claw.
Oh,
Yes. Here we are at the final track after this mammoth investigation.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, so
what do we got?
the final tracks are Foreign Affair and One of the Living. So Foreign Affair, no surprises, it's the title track of the album. Tina sings about the allure and attraction of newfound love, describing the excitement and exhilaration that comes with starting a romantic adventure with someone new. And One of the Living, so this was a theme song for the film Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, so it's another one. The song is about resilience and the determination to survive in a chaotic world where individuals fight to maintain their humanity and identity amongst the challenges they face. So, we will start with Stu for this one.
Hey.
Oh, right. Foreign Affair.
Okay, Rob? That joke again.
Swine. If nobody can hear ha ha at the very start of this track, get out. It's just an ha ha track. It is right at the start.
I disagree, but you'll hear why.
Oh wow, okay. And it's very, and then it turns into a very Dire Straits. I can't even think, know the name of the song. I can't even remember the name. It is definitely off the Love Over Gold album, but it's very Mark Knopfler finger picking. And I've done no research. I don't know. Mark Knopfler might have even wrote the song. No idea. So I'm sure Cy or Robbie will be able to fill in that information.
It depends who goes first.
However, it's a bit of a nothing song. It's a little bit boring. It's quite relaxing. It's just non-offensive. Nice middle eight in the for the guitar in. It's quite a weak song for the end of an album as well. It's just sort of it's like, oh, you've had all this like Tina Turner highness, now just relax, have a cup of tea, go to bed. That's it. You've done your Tina, go to bed.
Yeah.
How would you go to bed, Stu?
No, I'm not going to do that.
You set me off again.
Don't want to flog a dead horse.
You can't do it on demand.
No, I'm an artiste. This song, right, we've mentioned the word 80s a lot over the course of our investigation.
Mm-hmm.
But this song takes the frickin' piss. It is 80s in every fibre of its being. It's just, but it is a heavier track, and it's better in that sense, I suppose. But it is really, it's a really hard one, these two, because I do kind of like Foreign Affair. I like the way it's really mellow and very finger picking and Dire Straitsy kind of thing, and I really like Dire Straits. So, and
But
I know. I know. It's just but one thing, and I'm doing it again. It's different.
Yeah,
it's different. Just one thing. Living is just different to all the other stuff, and it gets my vote. Whether it's a good song or not, or whether Time is like, because I don't really think it's that good, but I just think she had the balls to try something different. End of. It's just like she didn't have to keep on doing the cookie cutter Tina Turner track she's always known for. She just, I'll go down this road and I'll try this.
Yeah.
Is it different though?
Not really, no, because you've still got the essence of Tina, of course, the essence of Tina. But Cat Tina.
Still Claw Tina.
I don't know. Just, I'm going for One of the Living. I'm really now quite interested to know the facts between the fact battle. Now, Cath has got to pick really carefully who goes first now.
Who shall I?
Well, I've only got one fact. How
many facts you got, son?
I think it's probably the same fact, but I don't have many.
Fact battle.
I will name this fact in 4.
Oh, I know. Can you say one word and then Robbie says another word and then go back to Cy?
Well, Robbie's going next, so
all right.
let's hear this fact.
Woo.
Okay, well, so let's launch straight into it. So, Foreign Affair, really torn with this one. In fact, of the battles, this was one of the hardest ones for me, and I shall now tell you why. I like what she's doing on Foreign Affair, but again, it's backed by dullness. And then I thought, oh, that sounds like Dire Straits, doesn't it? And I was not wrong, because I looked it up and it was Mark Knopfler.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yes,
it was
it
Mark
does sound
Knopfler.
very.
Now, what Mark
Knopfler-fied.
Knopfler does complements the song really nicely. But the problem is, it makes the rest of it sound even more dull than it was before. So that's a big problem. Now, One of the Living, this is tricky. The keyboard, the drums, and the reverb make the whole thing sound like it was recorded in some big industrial pipe. Now, I really like the melody that she's doing and the melody lines, but it's so buried in the production. It's just a mess. So I thought, there's elements to this I like. So the bit where she's singing the shooting bullets of fire, I really like that bit. So I thought, right, I'll go and look at a live version of this and see if it's any better. Completely different ball game. Way, way better. Really, really good song. But on record, it loses.
You should have watched the music video.
I watched a live version,
Right.
which was really great. The fact that she's doing a bit, it's more rocky, it's more different live, but we're talking about album tracks here. So I encourage the listener to go and watch One of the Living on YouTube. But in terms of the album battle, I'm afraid Foreign Affair wins.
Ooh, right,
simply
okay.
because One of the Living is doing a disservice to what that track can be. So yeah, I wouldn't want people to listen to the wrong version. So I'm going to put Foreign Affair on for that.
Interesting.
Where
Right.
I do.
Si, what do you think then?
I don't think much. All my facts are gone. It's
Sorry,
Bucket is
Si.
empty.
yeah, that's it. My locker is done. What's my notes on this one? Right. Foreign Affair. Yes, Mark Knopfler on guitar. No, 80s cliche electronic beats again. That Cuban drug lord has finally been arrested, and we're now watching the end credits interspersed with a montage of one of the cops spending time with their family, whilst the other cop grows his romantic relationship with a hot witness that helped put the bad guys down.
Brilliant. We should be doing that.
Yeah,
Not doing this podcast.
One of the Living? Dear God, not more 80s drum machine beats mixed with some guitar power chords. I mean, surely there'll be a soaring saxophone solo along the... Oh, fuck, yeah, there it is. One of the Living, I'm losing the fucking will to live with this battle.
Ah.
I really don't care which one wins. Either way, it's not a great choice. If either of these tracks, I think, went up against literally any of the other losers, I don't think it would win. Well, maybe, except for maybe 1984 and anything that featured those fucking raindrops. But
yeah,
I don't want to make a pick because a song is less shit than the other.
You got to pick, sorry. You can't not have a vote.
Because it has more of an ending feel, and this is the end of the playlist, I'm going to go with Foreign Affair.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, so Foreign Affair, I've written, it sounds a bit Dire Straits. just a little bit.
We're good at this research, aren't we?
And yeah, it had a comical sad guitar wail in it as well, I thought. We find Tina on the prowl in this song, as she feels there's romance in the air, and she's going around all the little cafes looking for it. Other lyrics get very saucy, describing exactly what's on her mind when she does find the dish that she's after.
Well.
Yep, and that's all I've got to say about it musically as well.
Right.
Which is not a lot. Okay, so One of the Living, I thought it was a very off-topic song for Tina, although because it's to do with the film, that kind of makes sense. She's not playing to her strengths vocally in this track. And it's not the best song either, despite it being the theme song for the movie. Although, so I watched a video, which did completely change my opinion. It was absolutely hilarious. So she's gone all rock in this hilarious video, and she's got her trademark stomp going on, and she's got this sexy sort of studded guitar strap over her shoulder. But the thing that really tickled me was when she strums a guitar at particular points. And I have a really hard time believing she's actually playing that guitar in the song.
Yeah,
but it was a hilarious video, and it's off the back of the video, which I know that's not the criteria for voting for the songs, but it just entertained me much more than Foreign Affair, which was just Dire Straits.
Oh.
So I'm going to vote for One of the Living.
No, I didn't think it'd really win.
That means that wins.
Oh my god!
Because it's a draw again.
So anyone listening to the subsequent playlist, go and watch a live version of One of the Living. It is really good live.
Or if you want to laugh, watch the music video, because it is really funny.
So there we are. Wow. I'd just like to say that although there have been negatives in this review, I have full respect for Tina Turner and what she did. I think in terms of female artists, and what I did a little bit more looking into top selling female artists of all time, and she's well down there, which obviously is part of the changing market, etc. You know, you got your Adeles and things right at the top, but I think Tina Turner was about 35th or something.
Okay. I think she should be higher, to be honest.
To be fair, though, it's a little unfair, because when Tina was alive and she was releasing albums, she would have released Foreign Affair, and that would have been the album. Whereas Taylor Swift, who is the greatest record seller at the moment, releases every album on 5 different fucking versions.
Right.
So like all the Swifties will go and buy all 5 versions of the album. So that is like bulking up her sales. So I can kind of understand it's a bit of a skewed metric.
But also, like Taylor Swift, she's a youngster. Right, I don't know how, like late 20s, I don't know. She's a youngster, but Tina Turner was a mature woman who had, like, she was getting the raunch on, and she was singing sexy songs and doing fantastically well. You would never get that in this day and age.
No.
Yeah.
So good on her.
Yeah, I have mad respect for mad respect.
You're so street, Robbie. We didn't realise you were down with all the kids.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just trying to appeal to a new demographic. No, I have total respect for Tina Turner and who she was, as well as what she did. So yeah. Hats off. I think she's one of the all-time greats in terms of female artists.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I don't know. I think out of all us, like, I've probably been or perceived to be the most negative, and I think I have a little bit. But no, to be fair, it was more about the music, than her. If you think about it, and we discovered on our little journey that there was lots of covers, and she's also not written a lot of these songs. There was somebody else's, so you got to put that into context. But the one thing I think we all agree on: the saxophone player can go and do one. No more sax.
No more sax.
I was just having a quick look to see if she, because I think she quite rightly deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, definitely.
She must be.
She actually is. But I was just looking at the year that she went in, and this is crazy. She only went in 2021. And and the other performers that went in at the same time as her were the Foo Fighters, the Go-Go's, Jay-Z, Carole King, Kraftwerk, LL Cool J, and Todd Rundgren. So, Todd Rundgren.
Yeah, but the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a pile of bullshit.
It does sound like a load of bullshit. I mean, she should have been in it decades earlier than that.
Yeah, well, Iron Maiden aren't in it, so...
it's a joke,
yeah. But, no, hats off to Tina Turner, and I encourage people to go and also check out some of her later albums. She was still releasing stuff in through the 90s up to 2000 and something, I believe. I would don't know what
probably avoid her last album.
Okay, well, but yeah, I do regret not seeing her live. I think she would have been a brilliant show.
Yeah, well, you might be pleased to know that there's actually a musical performance in the West End to do with Tina Turner's life, which features her hits. So if you're a Tina fan, or you want to try and live some of the energy and passion that she injected into her music, I would suggest to go and see that.
Oh, are we been sponsored? Is that what that is? Is that an ad? Are we getting
funny
paid for
you should
this?
mention that. In terms of sponsorship, so of course next month we are reviewing the 100 greatest saxophone songs of all time.
I'm not on that podcast. I'd like to add, I'm very, very far away from that one. So anyway, should we have a rundown of what this album is going to be, and then we'll introduce what the album name is going to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, in running order of the winning tracks, so we have Steamy Windows, The Best, Show Some Respect, Undercover Agent for the Blues, Look Me in the Heart, Be Tender With Me Baby, Better Be Good to Me, Steel Claw, Help, I Don't Want to Lose You, We Don't Need Another Hero, Thunderdome, and One of the Living.
Yeah.
What's this album going to be called?
Well, this playlist title is going to be Private Affair.
Very appropriate.
Weird. You wouldn't want it any other way.
Exactly. And that can be found on Spotify by searching for the title of the playlist, or alternatively searching for the Album Armageddon profile, where you can find both this playlist and all the other playlists from our archive. And that just leaves us to wrap things up, which we're really good at normally. And for you, the listener, to go onto our Facebook and our X and give the show a share to your own timelines. Vote on our artist selection poll on the Facebook group and leave those all-important 5-star reviews on your podcast platform of choice. And for us to say goodbye, so say goodbye, Stu.
See you later.
Say goodbye, Rob.
Nighty-night!
And say goodbye, Cath.
Oh, you stole my joke. Bye-bye!
And until next time, where we will be taking an artist who has had a rugby team of members featured in its lineup.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
Who could it be?
All right. Until next time. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.